Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Konoha. With the super template, the Playboy becomes stronger. Chapter 61. With the Akatsuki organization under Kakuzu's planning, the blackmail operation against Tang Country began. This is the first time. Angle financial planning. And during this period, Orochimaru unexpectedly received news from Konoha. Look at the people coming. Orochimaru also looked surprised. Ryoma, you actually came to me. It's really a rare visitor. Looking at Aburame Ryoma in front of me, Orochimaru didn't expect that the other party would come back to find him. As a former partner at the root, the two are relatively familiar. Orochimaru, Master Baye hopes to cooperate with you. Having said that, Aburame Ryoma took out the secret letter given by Baye. Sarutobi Baye. These days, Orochimaru has heard a lot of news. Naturally, he is not unfamiliar. I just can't figure it out. How could the teacher's grandson let people come to him? He even had someone specially send him a secret letter. Interesting. After receiving the secret letter, Orochimaru glanced at it a few times. The content inside shocked Orochimaru. Not long ago, Baye thought of Orochimaru, the ninja scientist. Such talents, we must cooperate well. When I went to the land of Earth to watch the excitement, just in time Aburame Ryoma was sent over. Danzo also has Orochimaru's contact information. Then Baye asked him to come over directly. This led Aburame Ryoma to come to Orochimaru with a secret letter. As for the contents of the secret letter, it's Baye's guarantee to Orochimaru. And collaborative projects. Includes research on the Uchiha clan. Looking at the contents of the secret letter, Orochimaru suddenly became interested. Interesting. You can go back and tell Sarutobi Baye that I agree to cooperate. But the location has to wait for a while. I still have something to do. After I finish it, I will contact you. Hearing this, Aburame Ryoma didn't say anything more. After nodding towards Orochimaru, then he disappeared directly into the room. Orochimaru was left alone looking at the secret letter in his hand in a daze. Konoha Village Gate. A gorgeous motorcade slowly stopped at the gate. Headed by, it was the minister who came from the Daming Mansion of the Country of Fire. And beside me, it is Sarutobi Asuma who is still unruly. Zhengzhen, so many years have passed. Why is this gate still the same as before? It's so unprogressive. You won't spend so much money, it's such a waste. Glancing at the somewhat old door, the minister immediately returned to the carriage with a look of disgust on his face. Just came out. I just showed the documents to the registration ninja at the door. Those who actually negotiate are Sarutobi Asuma, who is now one of the Guardian 12 ninjas. Asuma, are you back too? You've just come back, are you still leaving? Looking at Asuma, Gangzi and Tai didn't take the minister's words to heart. Instead, he asked Asuma enthusiastically. Hearing this, Asuma just replied politely. Then he took the convoy directly into Konoha. Seeing Asuma's attitude, Gangzi and Tai suddenly felt like their warm faces were pressed against their cold buttocks. I felt a little angry. But when I thought about it, the other person was Hokage's son. I can only feel sulky in my heart. TCH, why are you pulling? It's true. It's not as good as Master Baye. That's right, although Master Baye spends money lavishly, likes to spend a lot of money, and also likes beautiful girls, Master Baye is not bad in nature. That's right, Master Baye also said that we are heroes. As everyone knows, all the words of the two were heard by the third Hokage through the crystal ball. When the minister's motorcade arrived, Sarutobi Hiruzen noticed it. Unexpectedly, Asuma also came back. However, I accidentally overheard the conversation between Gangzi and Tai. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly twitched the corner of his mouth. Listen, are you speaking human language? He's obviously a dandy, but he turns into a dandy when it comes to you. But then I thought about it. It seems to be true. Baye, a brat like him, didn't do anything harmful. At most, he collects rent, spreads money, uses his power to bully others, and occasionally teases little girls. There doesn't seem to be anything else wrong with it. While third Hokage was deep in thought in his office, Sarutobi Asuma is heading towards the Hokage building with a convoy. His expression was unusually ugly along the way. Just because I'm on the road, Many people recognized Sarutobi Asuma. But the voice of discussion was, is this the Sarutobi Asuma? Which Sarutobi Asuma? It's the Sarutobi Asuma that Master Baye uses as a unit of measurement. Oh, the one with 35 million tails. He is who he is. Hearing this, Sarutobi Asuma was so angry that he almost abandoned the team on the spot and went to settle the score with Baye. It's so humiliating. One of the 12 protective ninjas beside him, the great daimyo of the Land of Fire. Jonin from Konoha village. As a result, it became a unit of measurement in people's mouth. What a shame. And Sarutobi Asuma is still in his unruly period now. When your temper comes up, it comes up. Just when Sarutobi Asuma was about to go to Baye to settle accounts, then he saw a team of the Sarutobi clan coming towards them. We are collecting rent from door to door. Hurry up and let us go to the next house. Time is tight and the task is heavy, so no ink. Get the rent out quickly. Listening to the tone of several people and attitude towards merchants, Sarutobi Asuma suddenly became angry. He hurriedly stepped forward. Is this how you collect rent? Who told you to do this? Is this how you collect rent? Who told you to do this? Facing Sarutobi Asuma, who suddenly came over to question him, several people didn't recognize them for a while. After all, Asuma turned into a ruthless blade after rebellious and leaving. With his long flowing hair, several people who were originally on the fringes of the Sarutobi clan recognized him at a glance. Seeing Sarutobi Asuma stand up, several people suddenly became happy. Where the hell are you from? How dare you meddle in our affairs? What does our rent collection have to do with you? These tenants didn't say anything. What are you calling them here? You're going to stand out, right? Hearing this, Asuma almost laughed out of anger. This is the first time I have encountered such an arrogant and domineering person in the village. I used to think that the Uchiha clan was arrogant. Unexpectedly, I saw the ninjas from my Sarutobi clan being so arrogant today. Even more arrogant than the Uchiha clan. Okay. I finally saw it today. I'll teach you a lesson. Just as Asuma finished speaking, then he dodged and rushed in front of several people. A punch fell on the face of the leader. Bang. One strike. He knocked it away directly. The rest of the team saw this. He hurriedly surrounded Asuma and prepared to take action. But, a rent collection team, at best, there are only a few genin. There is Sarutobi Asuma's opponent. Just a face-to-face meeting. Several people were knocked to the ground. Ouch, it hurts me so much. Who are you? Do you know who we are? We are under Master Baye. You dare to hit us? Just wait for death. Even though he was knocked to the ground by himself, a few people were still buzzing. Sarutobi Asuma is not spoiled. Go right away and prepare to make up for your punches. The movement here quickly led to the merchant calling in the Konoha guard. Stop it. Who told you to hit people here? Seeing that Asuma is about to take action, several Uchiha also quickly surrounded Asuma. See the situation. The minister who had been sitting in the carriage watching the play also came out. As a close confidant of the daimyo, naturally, the minister looked down upon these ninjas. Since I didn't have much strength, I kept silent. But seeing Sarutobi Asuma take action, with Hokage's father as his backer, he is naturally not afraid of these ninjas. The minister wanted to take this opportunity to show off his power. HMPH, I am the Minister of Finance of the Fire Country. These little fools have become my path. If they still collect rent randomly, I will ask them to teach them a lesson so that they will remember it for a long time. I realize that your problems in Konoha are very serious. Regarding the words of the finance minister, the security team at the scene didn't bother to listen to a word. Because they discovered, the ones who were beaten were the rent collection team sent by Master Baye. Although this team is arrogant, they still charge rent normally. And, as the team next to Master Baye, what's wrong with being a little arrogant? Just took a look. Several people unceremoniously surrounded Sarutobi Asuma and others. Uchiha, the leader, directly activated the three Magatama. The atmosphere at the scene instantly became solemn. When the finance minister saw this, he was so frightened that he hurriedly got back into the carriage. Sarutobi Asuma was left alone to face. I originally planned to be reasonable. As a result, the Konoha guardsmen in front of them clearly had no intention of being reasonable. Facing an ordinary Uchiha is okay, but facing this kind of Uchiha with 3 Magatama. Even Sarutobi Asuma is very tricky. In desperation, Sarutobi Asuma had no choice but to reveal his identity. I'm Sarutobi Asuma. I'm the one who beat him. If you have any questions, ask Sarutobi Baye to come see me. I want to see if he still sees me as an uncle. Hearing this, Uchiha, the leader, couldn't help but be stunned. After carefully looking at the person in front of me, the identity of Sarutobi Asuma was also confirmed. This was a bit difficult for the security team handling the matter. The person in front of me is Master Baye's uncle. I'm still not sure what Master Baye's attitude is. I can't touch Asuma in front of me easily. Go and send someone to inform Master Baye. Tell Master Baye everything that happens here. After sending people out, the remaining members of the security team had no intention of leaving at all. Still staying here. When Asuma saw this, he also looked unhappy, but he could only wait here helplessly. And the Chancellor of the Exchequer in the carriage. I heard that the security team went to inform Sarutobi Baye. Suddenly I felt a little uneasy. After all, I have actually seen Sarutobi Baye's record. That terrifying strength is definitely not something Sarutobi Asuma can match. When I think of Sarutobi Baye coming, the finance minister couldn't help but pray in his heart. I hope this Sarutobi Baye has a good relationship with Asuma. Otherwise, you will be miserable. Maybe this time I won't be able to complete my mission to Konoha. Without waiting for Baye to come first, Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi came to the scene first. Looking at the scene, he didn't say anything, just stood aside quietly. And closely followed. It turned out to be Hyuga Hiyashi, and the heads of various families came to both sides of the street. Both of them remained silent, tacitly understanding each other. In fact, I just want to see how this matter will be handled. Seeing this scene, Sarutobi Asuma couldn't help but secretly say something bad. 813. If this is not handled well, I'm afraid something has happened. But the matter has come to this. Sarutobi Asuma has no choice but to wait until Sarutobi Baye comes. Soon, everything here reached the ears of Baye, who was still basking in the sun at home. So, that cheap uncle is back. Interesting and interesting. Hit my people as soon as they came back, that's good. Let's go. I happen to be a little bored, so I might as well go and have a look. After learning what happened, Baye, who was still feeling bored, suddenly brightened up. Now I have some fun. For the past few days at home, I have thought about continuing to be a playboy. As a result, the integration progress is getting slower day by day, just like it is not increasing. Today is finally time to live. Soon, Baye's figure appeared on the street. With Izumi and Yakushi no beside me. Behind him were all Uchiha guards. This was all taught by Grandpa Danzo himself. Full of pomp, Sarutobi Asuma frowned when he saw this scene. Asuma had been very dissatisfied with Baye's playboy character since he was a child. Naturally, I am even more disgusted now. Before Asuma could speak, Uchiha Fugaku and other clan leaders, who had been waiting for a long time, stepped forward to greet them. Master Baye, Master Baye, Master Baye, you are here. Accompanied by greetings one after another, Baye also brought people to the scene. Looking at Baye, who was so grand, Asuma's heart became increasingly unhappy. What I was about to say. The Chancellor of Finance, who had originally hid in the carriage, ran out again. He greeted Baye with a smile on his face. Ha ha ha, Master Baye, why did you come? I also said that I'd like to visit you after I finish handling the matter. Hearing this, looking at the smiling Chancellor of Finance in front of him, Baye couldn't help but raise his eyebrows and said, do I have the habit of arriving early? After saying that, he directly bypassed the guy who appeared in front of him. The main reason is that I have never seen this guy before. Inexplicably blocked in front of me. Seeing Baye ignoring herself so much, the finance minister's face suddenly looked a bit sad. Uchiha Fugaku on the side saw this. He hurriedly reminded Baye in a low voice, Master Baye, this is the Minister of Finance of Daming Mansion. Hearing the words, Baye suddenly glanced at the finance minister in front of him with some disdain. I thought it was something. In the end, he was just a minister of a famous government. You are worthy enough to stand in front of me and talk to me with your status. I really don't know what to say. As Baye said. Several Uchiha guards behind him stepped forward and threw aside the finance minister who was blocking the way. This made the other party very angry. But looking at the Uchiha guards who were eyeing each and every one of them, the finance minister could only keep his dissatisfaction in his heart. As Baye slowly came to Sarutobi Asuma, looking at this cheap uncle in front of me, and the undisguised disgust in his eyes, Baye then slowly said, "They come out to collect rent in my name. Whoever dares to touch them will not give me face." Speaking of which, Baye's eyes suddenly looked at Uchiha Fugaku on the side playfully. "Who in Konoha doesn't know my name, Sarutobi Baye? Who dares to touch my people? Do you dare to touch them?" Seeing Baye actually asked himself, Uchiha Fugaku hurriedly waved his hands and said, "Don't dare." And Baye looked at Hyuga Hiyashi aside. "Do you dare to move?" Seeing this, Hyuga Hiyashi also hurriedly smiled and said, "Don't dare. Who dares to touch Master Riai's people? Who dares not to give face to Master Baye? Get the answer you want." Baye immediately nodded with satisfaction. Then he looked at Sarutobi Asuma in front of him with a playful expression, pretending not to recognize the other person. "Who are you? You dare to touch my people?" Hearing that Baye actually scolded him in front of so many people, Sarutobi Asuma was so angry that his blood surged. As the Hokage's son, when had Asuma ever been so angry? "Sarutobi Baye, open your eyes and take a good look. Who I am." Hearing the words, Baye hurriedly pretended to look carefully. Then he looked like he suddenly understood. It turns out to be Uncle. Seeing Baye recognize him, Asuma's face looked a little better now. Then he took on the posture of an elder and said, "Baye, is this how you usually let them collect rent? They are all arrogant and domineering. It is a disgrace to the reputation of the Sarutobi clan." Without waiting for Sarutobi Asuma to continue speaking, he was immediately interrupted by Baye with an impatient look on his face. "Sarutobi Asuma, are you so stupid? Anyone who dares to hit me. Don't think that just because you are my uncle, you can talk nonsense in front of me. I don't like what you say, and you don't give me any face." As Baye said with an unhappy look, the people watching all around immediately looked at Sarutobi Asuma. These words, "But I didn't save any face for Sarutobi Asuma." As expected, after listening to Baye's words, at this time, Sarutobi Asuma almost exploded with anger. Staring at Baye in front of him with red eyes. "It's time to take action. I'm your uncle. How dare you talk to me like that?" Hearing this, Baye couldn't help laughing immediately. Looking at Sarutobi Asuma's appearance in front of me, suddenly he couldn't help but joked, "Have you become the 12 ninja who protect the daimyo? Yo, how come your personality has changed? I remember you were not always unruly. If you are a good Konoha Jonin, you must be a dog for the daimyo. I see you are really hungry." After that, Baye stepped forward and patted the dust on Asuma's clothes affectionately. But this behavior, in Asuma's opinion, it is humiliating himself. When would an uncle be humiliated in this manner by his own nephew? Faced with Baye's repeated provocations, Sarutobi Asuma also returned to his unruly posture. His eyes were evil and he said, "Sarutobi Baye, don't think that just because you have won a few battles, you will feel invincible. Don't think I'm afraid of you. I just don't want our uncle and nephew to cause blood on the streets." As Sarutobi Asuma said, "Ah, blood splattered on the streets," Baye suddenly exclaimed, looking at Sarutobi Asuma with a look of disbelief. He glanced around at the heads of the major families who were watching. Then he said, "How can you be in front of so many ninja clan leaders? How about publicly saying that you want me to see blood? You are so lawless." For a time, as Baye said, that powerful aura instantly suppressed Sarutobi Asuma. Sarutobi Asuma, who was originally ready to take action. At this moment, I felt scared in my heart. The original intention to take action suddenly died at this moment. Look around. Sarutobi Asuma actually discovered that all the patriarchs of these powerful clans seemed to be paying homage to Baye. And now, he himself became the laughingstock of these people. Looking at Sarutobi Asuma, who remained silent for a long time. But Baye directly reached out and patted Asuma's face. "What, are you afraid that I will kill you? Then you shouldn't hit my people. I don't dare to do anything now, I'm still scared to death. I remember you weren't so unruly before, what's the matter? You're not so unruly now. At this moment, Asuma, who endured Baye's humiliation. Suddenly I noticed a beautiful figure in the crowd. The long, slightly curly hair and ruby-like eyes instantly attracted Asuma's attention. Looking at the other person's curious eyes, the courage in Asuma's heart was instantly rekindled. So many people look at it. Nothing you say can become a laughing stock. Especially in front of this beautiful woman. For some reason, Asuma decided that the other party would be his woman with just one glance. Faced with Baye's humiliation, Sarutobi Asuma can't bear anything at this moment. I directly chose to take action. Turn your hands. 2 chakra weapons appeared in his hands. Instantly, the chakra swords were condensed and swung towards Baye in front of him. Call out, although it is very fast. But in Baye's eyes, it's no different from slow motion. Just a light tap of your foot. Baye's figure disappeared instantly. Seeing a blow miss, Asuma rushed towards Baye again. See the situation. Baye was not even prepared to hide. He stood there looking at Sarutobi Asuma, who was rushing towards him with a look of news on his face. Seeing this, Baye, who is still humiliating himself. Sarutobi Asuma can't control that much anymore. Asuma has long forgotten about uncle and nephew. The 2 chakra knives were swung continuously, attacking Baye at an unusually tricky angle. Ding! Before he could rush to Baye, the 2 chakras were suddenly stopped with ninja swords. The ever-conquering chakra knife. But he was stopped by a mediocre ninja sword. The person who came was none other than Uchiha Itachi, who had been responsible for protecting Baye's safety. When Asuma took a closer look, the scarlet Sharingan scared Asuma so much that he quickly closed his eyes and retreated. You! Before Asuma could speak, Uchiha Itachi's cold voice reached Asuma's ears. You dare to be an enemy of Master Baye. I will never let you go. Having said that, the figure flashed and rushed towards Asuma. The 2 fought together again, relying solely on sword skills. Uchiha Itachi had already beaten Sarutobi Asuma. But at this stage, Sarutobi Asuma. He is not the trash that just smoked in the later period. The strength is even much higher. The 2 chakra knives danced airtight. Seeing that I can't defeat the person in front of me with my sword skills alone. Uchiha Itachi was not polite either, and instantly started forming seals with his hands. As a genius of the Uchiha clan, Itachi's seal speed has reached an all-time high. After turning his hands over, an afterimage appeared. This sealing speed, seeing Sarutobi Asuma is frightened. Fire-style Great Fireball technique. The scorching fireball instantly hit Sarutobi Asuma. See the situation. Asuma hurriedly activated the chakra knife in his hand. After a round of consecutive cuts, only then did he block the sudden attack of fire-style ninjutsu. Faced with Uchiha Itachi's attack, Sarutobi Asuma also hurriedly formed seals and used ninjutsu to fight back. Wind-style function technique. A bunch of rapid dust instantly hit Uchiha Itachi. This kind of ninjutsu, in front of Uchiha Itachi, it has no effect at all. He escaped in just a blink of an eye. Then he rushed forward with his sword again. Watching the fight between the 2, Baye directly found the best viewing spot. As for others, they also gave up the venue one after another. And among the besieging people, the beautiful figure that Sarutobi Asuma just noticed. At this time, the attention was not on the 2 fighting people. Instead, he looked at Baye curiously. He is full of curiosity about Baye, the hero of Konoha, but he just wants to be a playboy every day. Soon, the battle between the 2 is coming to an end. Under the attack of Uchiha Itachi, Sarutobi Asuma's pressure was overwhelming. At this time there are already some. I can't stand it anymore. The whole person was panting and kept retreating. As everyone knows, Uchiha Itachi didn't even show half of his strength. Just relying on 3 Tomo Sharingan has already suppressed Sarutobi Asuma into this state. As for Mangekyo, there is no need to use it on Sarutobi Asuma. After all, Mangekyo Sharingan increases consumption once it is used. Ding! Just listen to the crisp sound of swords. Sarutobi Asuma was struck by Itachi and flew away. When Asuma saw this, then he was ready to get off the slope and jump out of the circle to end this meaningless battle. How could Baye, who was looking so happy, give Asuma this chance? The figure flashed directly behind Asuma. He grabbed Asuma's fur collar in one hand. Go on, come on, come on, while talking. Then he threw Sarutobi Asuma in again. At this time, Sarutobi Asuma was ready to die. After being thrown back into the fight, Asuma also knows that there is nothing he can do without fighting. At this time, Asuma suddenly put away the chakra knife in his hand. Showing Buddhist gestures, under the strange posture, Itachi suddenly discovered. A gleaming golden shadow of Senju Guanyin appeared behind Asuma. 0. Come to welcome Senju kill. The golden chakra fist appeared in front of Itachi in an instant. So fast, it even surprised Itachi. But, after fighting several times, Itachi quickly analyzed the weakness of this move. That is, Sarutobi Asuma must have stood still when he activated this move. After discovering the weakness of this move, Sarutobi Asuma, who had long been unable to hold himself up, was directly pressed to the ground by Itachi and began to rub him. Considering the person in front of me, after all, he is Lord Hokage's son. Itachi also directly used the back of the sword to start whipping Asuma in front of him. Soon, Sarutobi Asuma was beaten with bruises all over his body. The whole person was extremely miserable. Ahem. Okay, go ahead. Just as the battle was about to end, Sarutobi Hiruzen's figure appeared on the street. He directly stepped forward to stop the fight between the two. Looking at the miserable Asuma, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly twitched the corner of his mouth. He looked helplessly at Baye on the side. See the situation. Baye also shrugged directly, looking indifferent. Naturally, he knew in his heart that Grandpa would not do anything to him. As expected, as soon as he came up, Sarutobi Hiruzen scolded Asuma unceremoniously. You made such a big noise as soon as you came back. Do you think you, lousy, am dead? Absolutely lawless. Seeing his father scolding him as soon as he came up, Sarutobi Asuma was so aggrieved that he almost cried. I finally came back. As a result, he became a character that pigs dislike and dogs don't like. It was obviously me who was being beaten. No matter what, it's me who gets scolded. Asuma, who was just about to retort something. Suddenly I saw the particularly dazzling red sunset in the crowd. But, when she found that Yuri Hong's eyes were on Baye, that feeling, like a sharp sword piercing his heart, Asuma felt heartache for a moment. No matter what the father in front of me said. After putting away his chakra swords, he left the scene without looking back. Konoha is such a sad place, it's okay if you don't come back. Looking at Sarutobi Asuma leaving, the finance minister who was watching the show was anxious. Without the son of the third Hokage to help, the tasks assigned by the daimyo were not so easy to complete. As expected, ignoring Asuma who left, third generation's eyes are squarely on the chancellor. Haha, let's go to the office to talk. Does the daimyo have any mission to convey? Facing the inquiry of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the chancellor of the exchequer hurriedly pretended to be calm. Nodded. Then he followed Sarutobi Hiruzen and walked towards the Hokage building. Looking at the two people leaving, Baye couldn't help but look at the ninja clan chiefs on the side. Let's go and have a look. Let's see what this famous person thinks. Having said that, he took the lead and led everyone towards the Hokage boss. As for the scene of the fight, no need for Baye's instructions. Someone will come and fix it, too. After all, it is our own industry. At this time, in Baye's mind, a sweet voice that I haven't heard for a long time. At this moment, it suddenly sounded. Ding. Ding. Being so arrogant and domineering makes your uncle unable to hold his head up. Fusion plus 9%. This sudden notification sound, Baye felt happy immediately. Good guy. I tortured my uncle. The degree of integration actually increased by 9%. It's really a drought that brings nectar, which quenches thirst and is refreshing. This time, much more than what my dandy gave me in a month. Feeling the changes in strength within the body, a wave of all-round improvements came directly. Baye can clearly feel his defense, strength, and speed are all a notch faster than before. Host: Sarutobi. Age: 10 years old. Template: People of the Motherland. Fusion degree: 70%. Unlocked abilities: Super Defense, Super Strength, super speed, super hearing, flying, clairvoyance, cyclops. The next wave of templates. Superman, Man of Steel. What Baye didn't notice was that my fusion degree has actually reached 70%. When I think about how long it will take, I am about to activate the Superman template myself. This is much better than the Motherland template. To be precise, there is no comparison at all. After all, the people of the Motherland are just inferior supermen. What makes Baye excited about the Superman template the most is it's the ability to keep getting stronger just by basking in the sun. Just this. Just throw away the template of the Motherland by a few blocks. Not to mention various other high matching abilities. For a time, Baye was in a good mood immediately. I just feel that a wonderful tomorrow is waiting for me. Uchiha Fugaku on the side saw this. Suddenly I had an idea in my mind. In the past few days, Fugaku and Itachi have been planning things within the clan. I was just trying to find some time to talk to Baye. Seeing that Baye is in a good mood, Fugaku hurriedly said, Master Baye, tonight, the family is hosting a banquet and invites you to come and sit down. Just in time to discuss some family issues. 1, 2, 3. What do you think? After that, he looked at Baye cautiously. Baye, who was in a good mood at this time, naturally agreed without saying anything. The family problem mentioned by Fugaku in my heart is naturally menching. Aren't there just some radical elements of the elder lineage? I just agreed to cooperate with Orochimaru, but I still need materials. Let's go and solve it together. No problem, I will be there on time tonight. Seeing Baye agreed, Fugaku was immediately happy. Wait until the problems within the clan are resolved. The Uchiha clan is truly safe. When the time comes, just help Baye with your heart. Seeing that Uchiha Fugaku successfully invited Baye to the banquet, Hyuga Hiyashi and others on the side suddenly felt pity. If I had known, they would have invited me. Pity. The Uchiha clan took the lead. Soon everyone arrived at the conference room of the Hokage building. Third generation and the Chancellor of Finance have already sat down in the conference room. Looking at the crowd brought in by Baye, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't stop either. He smiled and motioned for everyone to sit down. In fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen also knew that the purpose of sending people here was not simple. It's just right for all the family patriarchs to listen. Look what the daimyo is about to fart. And Baye sat directly next to the Minister of Finance. He looked at the finance minister beside him with a playful look on his face. Just that look, but it made the finance minister on the side feel anxious. Seeing the minister looking a little flustered, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly said with some meaning, Haha, why did the minister come to Konoha? I can say it now. See the situation. The finance minister didn't know how to speak for a while. Facing a group of ninja clan chiefs, the minister also understood in his heart at this time. If this is said, I'm afraid I won't be able to get out of this conference room today. After much hesitation, the finance minister can only pin his hopes on the daimyo. I hope Konoha, for the sake of the daimyo, he won't do anything to himself. This, Hokage-sama, what the daimyo-sama means. The supplies for Konoha's expedition were all allocated from the Daiming Mansion. The war has been agreed. Should some of the compensation be distributed to the Daiming Mansion? Of course, this is what the name means. Let me discuss it with you first. After the future purpose is stated, the Minister of Finance was even more eager to survive and kept explaining to himself. Everyone in the conference room heard this. I also understand. This big name is interested in the 7 billion taels of compensation. For a time, the atmosphere in the entire conference room suddenly became solemn. The heads of the major ninja clans even stared at the Minister of Finance with unkind eyes. Good guy, we fought tooth and nail to win the war. You're going to come and take away our compensation money with just one mouthful. It's just too much of a lie. As for the supplies for the expedition, if you have the ability, don't give it to me. There is no Konoha to support the frontline battlefield. See if the enemy will directly knock down the fire country and make your name disappear. See the situation. The finance minister suddenly thought to himself. I really regret it now. If I had known earlier, I would not have accepted this mission. If this is not handled well, not to mention corruption, whether he can return to Daiming Mansion is still a question. Haha, Don't worry, everyone. Shouldn't we discuss it first? The daimyo didn't say it was necessary. I think Konoha's hard work pays off. If Konoha doesn't take the money, who will get it? When I get back, I will report your achievements to the daimyo. Regarding the explanation given by the finance minister at this time, no one reacted at all. Baye beside him was just twiddling his fingers. I had no intention of talking to him at all. As for the third Hokage, at this time, he was sitting there with his eyes closed, as if it had nothing to do with him. The finance minister also understood what was happening. The task has not been completed, and a lot of people have to come in, otherwise I will not be able to get out of this door. In this case, I see that the gates of Konoha are in disrepair, and money is needed in many places. After I go back, I will report it to the Lord. The compensation will definitely not be enough. How about allocating 3 billion taels to round up the figure? With this condition spoken, the chancellor's heart is bleeding. This is 3 billion taels. With the daimyo's character, he would definitely not pay for it himself. When the time comes, you will have to take care of it yourself. You have to lose most of your life's worth in one fell swoop. Seeing the finance minister's pain in his body, this should be the biggest bottom line. Seeing this, he kept silent. Sarutobi Hiruzen also agreed with a smile. Seeing that Hokage agreed, the finance minister also breathed a sigh of relief. At the very least, he could leave Konoha alive. After discussing the matter, the finance minister hurriedly led the team to leave Konoha. But before leaving, Baye's words made the minister of finance freeze up. Go back and tell the daimyo. Give him face and give him a good name. Don't give him face. Speaking of which, needless to say later, the finance minister also understands. He nodded hurriedly to show that he would definitely take the words. After finishing, the chancellor of finance did not dare to delay for even a second. He led the team out of Konoha without looking back. As for what I was thinking, that's unknown. At night, Baye brought Quan to the Uchiha clan for a banquet. This time's banquet, in order to solve the problem of the Uchiha clan once and for all. Fugaku directly arranged the banquet venue at the clan leader's home, and invited a group of radicals headed by the Great Elder to the banquet. Fugaku, on the other hand, took Itachi to greet Baye's arrival at the gate of the clan early. Looking at the two Fugaku who were waiting for me respectfully, Baye is naturally in a good mood. Have to say, Uchiha Fugaku is a good person. With this attitude, Baye was very satisfied. Okay, let's go in. You should be ready, right? Hearing the words, Uchiha Fugaku nodded quickly. For this operation, Uchiha Fugaku was naturally fully prepared. I only saw the periphery of the patriarch's house. There are actually many Uchiha clan ninjas lurking in ambush. Most of them, they all followed Fugaku to the battlefield. He is also a tribesman who was impressed by Baye Kamui. Now everyone is waiting in ambush all around, just waiting for Fugaku's order. They will all be killed. At this time, in the patriarch's home, the first elder and the second elder have already taken their seats. Also sitting there were some of their close associates. The other radical tribesmen were sitting on the outside. The main seat was left to Baye, who was invited by Uchiha Fugaku. It's obviously a banquet that Fugaku is hosting. As a result, Fugaku, the protagonist of the party, was nowhere to be seen. The second elder suddenly turned to the elder next to him with some displeasure and said, "Tell me, what's going on with this Fugaku?" Suddenly he said he was going to have a banquet and invited Sarutobi Baye. What does he want to do? About this question, the great elder also thought about it in his mind for a while. But I can't think of a reason why. But now the situation of the Uchiha clan is very good. The great elder's originally immersed heart became active again. Seeing that Fugaku hasn't come yet, he couldn't help but discuss it with the second elder next to him. You see, our Uchiha clan's reputation in the village has obviously improved now. What does this mean? It shows that Konoha cannot live without us, the Uchiha clan. This war has fully demonstrated everything. Several victories are enough to prove the strength of our Uchiha clan. Speaking of which, the great elder became obviously excited. And the following paragraph, it made the second elder extremely agree. Fugaku and Itachi both turned on Mangekyo. That's Mangekyo Sharingan, with the power of a god. With this power, we, the Uchiha clan, may not be able to become Hokage. Speaking of which, the two immediately looked at each other. It seems that the Hokage position is already in the possession of the Uchiha clan. But this matter, we also need the support of Fugaku and Itachi. Otherwise, relying on them alone, the power of the coup may not be enough. I originally wanted to use today's banquet to show off my showdown with Fugaku. As a result, as the leader of the Uchiha clan. No. Going to be a dog for Sarutobi Baye. This is a disgrace to the reputation of the Uchiha clan. With Sarutobi Baye here, the two of them also knew that there was no way to talk about this matter at the banquet today. While the two were discussing, with greetings from the patriarch, I saw Baye coming to the house led by Uchiha Fugaku and Itachi. See the situation. Several people were in a hurry and did not speak. This kind of thing is best discussed in private. As Baye took his seat at the main table, the banquet also started smoothly. Compared with the peripheral tribesmen, the cuisine on the main table is much richer. Moreover, Makoto did it all himself. Looking at Makoto, who was busy going about his business, Baye suddenly felt that the patriarch's wife still looked charming. After waiting for the dishes to be served, Baye was not polite and started eating directly. The great elder, who was about to say something, couldn't help but was stunned. But it's hard to say anything. He just gave Fugaku a very unhappy look. Then he said, "Master Baye, can you come to our Uchiha clan's banquet? The Uchiha clan is full of glory. Originally I was tasting the craftsmanship of the patriarch's wife. Listening to the old man next to me, the great elder, chattering non-stop." Baye suddenly felt a little unhappy. Seeing the great elder stop, Baye couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. As a result, I saw the great elder opening his mouth to say something again. "Master Baye, PFF'd." Before I could finish, Baye stabbed a chopstick directly into the head of the great elder. The great elder, who hasn't finished speaking yet, he died on the spot. But those eyes were full of surprise. There seems to be some doubts. How dare Baye take action against the Uchiha clan and directly kill him, the great elder? Really, just eat when you eat. It's really off-putting to keep chattering. Go on and eat. After easily taking care of the great elder, Baye's eyes fell on the second elder again. The latter is still in the stage of not reacting to the death of the great elder. Suddenly seeing Baye's eyes, I was shocked immediately. The close friends around them looked at each other in shock. I never expected that Baye would suddenly take action. Just as he was about to take action, he was stopped by the second elder. Looking at Uchiha Fugaku, who was silent on the side, and Uchiha Itachi, who looked normal but had his hand on his sword, the second elder suddenly felt cold in his heart. I'm afraid this was all agreed upon by Uchiha Fugaku. I feel bad in my heart. Just a few of them. There is no match for Fugaku and Itachi. The second elder was also a person who judged the situation and hurriedly said with a smile, "Yes, yes, yes, eat quickly, eat quickly. This is a dish cooked by the patriarch's wife herself, so we can't let it go to waste." After saying that, he directed all his cronies to immerse themselves in eating. As for the dead great elder, who cares? It's your own life that matters. While the second elder and the others were nervously engrossed in eating. But he didn't notice Baye's playful smile on the main seat. "No, you really eat it." Hearing this, the second elder couldn't help but be stunned. He raised his head suddenly, and before he could even swallow the food in his mouth. PFF'd. Two red laser beams instantly penetrated the second elder's head. Before 2.9 even finished speaking, he immediately drank in anger on the spot. Several of the cronies on the side saw this and were still able to sit there. Just opened Sharingan and prepared to fight hard. Continue to eat this meal. I'm afraid they will all die. Uchiha Fugaku, are you worthy of being the clan leader? He actually colluded with outsiders. You deserve to die. For these people, Baye was too lazy to take action. Leave it directly to Fugaku and Itachi to solve. He was tasting the craftsmanship of the patriarch's wife. Soon after Fugaku gave an order, the tribesmen who were ambushing outside began to take action. In one fell swoop, all the great elders and second elders were eliminated. So far, the entire Uchiha clan is completely controlled by Uchiha Fugaku. It also became the power in Baye's hands. To complete all this, Uchiha Fugaku and Itachi are also in a good mood. Because from today on, the Uchiha clan has completely integrated into Konoha. There will be no more strange sounds. Back home, Fugaku even took out the fine wine from his collection. Together with Itachi, Baye exchanges cups and cups. As for Sasuke, Fugaku had been sent to his grandfather's house long before the banquet. I'm afraid that this brat will disturb Baye's mood. If Baye is angered, all efforts will be in vain. As time passes little by little, Fugaku fell to the ground drunk. Itachi, who has always been aloof, is even worse at drinking. Perhaps the repressed matters in his heart have finally been resolved. After letting go, Itachi passed out drunk not long after. As for Baye, with a superhuman body, if you don't get drunk deliberately, any alcohol is the same as a drink. Seeing the two of them lying drunk on the ground, Baye also stood up and prepared to leave. Just when I was about to leave, Baye suddenly caught a glimpse of a beautiful figure in the kitchen. Baye, who was originally ready to leave, suddenly, he walked towards the kitchen by accident. Just when I was about to leave, Baye suddenly caught a glimpse of a beautiful figure in the kitchen. I didn't expect Uchiha Makoto to be so playful and busy in the kitchen. Baye, who was originally ready to leave, suddenly, he walked towards the kitchen by accident. The spring on the side saw this. He also stayed in the room very wisely. Avoid Fugaku and Itachi waking up and running into each other. Looking at Makoto, who was bending over to wash the dishes, Baye's eyes suddenly became hot. He hugged me directly from behind. Ma'am, don't look back. I'm Fugaku. Makoto, who was still washing dishes. Suddenly I was hugged. Suddenly panicked. Hear what the people behind you say. Even more tense. Hastily struggled to turn around. Seeing that it was Sarutobi Baye who was holding him, Makoto suddenly panicked. Master Baye. What are you doing? Please. Please let me go. Seeing that he is not her husband, Makoto hurriedly began to struggle. But no matter how hard Makoto struggles, how much strength do you have in front of Baye? It's simply not enough to see. Instead, he kept struggling. Let Baye have a different feeling. At this time, Baye suddenly discovered, there seems to be no age limit on me. After the fusion degree reaches 70%. I didn't expect 29 to have such a function. Feel the changes in your body. And Makoto, who is still struggling. Baye pinched Makoto's pretty face. Then he sealed it directly under the panicked eyes of the other party. Woo! The moment sealed by Baye, Makoto's mind instantly went blank. When you start to struggle, when you react, Baye directly let go of Makoto. As the two separated, Makoto hurriedly wiped his face with his hands. At the same time, he quickly kept his distance from Baye. His face was full of vigilance. Master Baye, how could you do this? Please leave immediately. I can pretend that nothing happened today. At this time, Makoto's pretty face was already as cold as frost. I'm afraid Baye has any actions now. The other party will shout without hesitation. However, looking at Makoto, who looked wary, Baye said quietly, Madam Chief, do you want to destroy the great situation that the Uchiha clan has just had? You should know how much Fugaku and Itachi paid for this, right? You don't want their efforts to go to waste, right? Hearing this, Makoto was stunned on the spot. In my mind, I kept recalling the scenes that my husband and son had done during this period, as well as the two people's longing for a better future during their conversation while eating. This moment, Makoto suddenly panicked. Before Baye could continue, Makoto hesitated again and again. Came to Baye's side. The painful expression on his face is really pitiful. Wiping the tears on Makoto's face, Baye then said, then, for the future of the Uchiha clan, you should know how to do it, right? Madam. Hearing the words, Makoto naturally knows what Baye means. For the future of the Uchiha clan. This is all it can do now. Makoto, who had already made up his mind, no longer hesitated. Gritting his teeth, he took Baye's hand and placed it closest to Baye. At this moment, Baye just feels that 10 years have been wasted. If the template had been integrated to 70% earlier, I have already started to do whatever I want. And if you are a dandy, your progress will definitely be faster. At least it won't be like now, increasing the degree of integration bit by bit. Looking at Makoto in front of me, Baye no longer has random thoughts. Then the enjoyment started. While the two were discussing in the room, an unexpected guest came to the patriarch's house. Father, brother, mother, strange, why didn't you answer? As soon as he entered the door, Sasuke called a few times as usual. This time I didn't get any response. Sasuke was immediately curious. Are they not at home today? Then he began to look for traces of his father and the others in the house. Soon he came to the living room. As a result, I saw my father and brother who were drunk. And Uchiha Kwan who has always been with Baye. As for the mother's figure, I didn't see it. Knowing that today is a banquet for Sarutobi Baye, Sasuke was not surprised to see Izumi there. I just didn't see Sarutobi Baye, making Sasuke look disappointed. If you are ready to provoke, you can only swallow it in your stomach. Soon Sasuke arrived near the room where Baye and Makoto were. Suddenly I heard something strange moving in the room. Mother, is it you, mother? Listening to the sounds coming from the kitchen, Sasuke immediately started asking. While asking, he was about to open the door to the room. Makoto was startled when he heard the sound. It would be over if Sasuke saw this. He hurriedly asked Baye to block the door of the room. Don't let Sasuke come in and see everything here. No way. Baye could only follow the instructions and go to the door of the room to block the door. Even if Sasuke is outside, he can't open the door. Makoto also hurriedly adjusted his state at this moment. After calming down his breath, then he said, Sasuke, are you back? Mom, are you in there? What was the noise just now? No, it's nothing. I'm washing the dishes. Go to bed when you come back. You have to go to school tomorrow. After hearing Makoto's words, Sasuke, who originally wanted to open the door and take a look, I had no choice but to give it up. After Sasuke left, in the room that had been quiet for a while, the two voices sounded again. As for Kwan who is staying in the living room, it was Fugaku and Itachi who stared at the muddy water with expressionless faces. But there were already waves in my heart. I'm not Master Baye's number one. I was beaten to the spot by Uchiha Makoto. Just when Kwan was secretly unhappy, suddenly, he found that Fugaku, who was lying in the living room, woke up staggeringly. Listening to the familiar voice coming from my ears, Fugaku suddenly looked in the direction of the sound with some doubts. Before Fugaku could take a few steps, Kwan, who was already feeling very unhappy, came directly behind Fugaku. A hand knife fell on Fugaku's neck. Fugaku, who was about to check it out, suddenly blacked out and fainted again. After doing all this, Kwan looked at Itachi's condition again. I found this guy drunk like a pig. This made Kwan feel relieved. 393 As time passes little by little, Kwan was getting a little impatient waiting. Little did I know that this was just the beginning. If Baye doesn't want to, it won't end at all. At least they all started in one night. Fortunately, the ability has just been unlocked this time. There will be a long time to come, so there is no need to frighten Makoto all at once. Then the gain outweighs the loss. After a long time, Baye put Makoto down with satisfaction. Then he dressed and walked out of the room. It's finally over. Kwan also hurriedly came to the kitchen. Looking at Makoto who fainted, I was shocked immediately. I didn't expect Master Baye to be so terrifying. If it were you, I'm afraid it's not as good as the Makoto in front of me. Thinking of this, Kwan couldn't help but swallowed hard. I just hope that Master Baye will be gentler to him in the future. Immediately after putting Makoto away and dressed, Izumi hugged Makoto and placed him in the bedroom. Then he returned to Baye. Looking at Baye in a good mood, Kwan then left the Uchiha tribe with Baye. At this time, Fugaku still doesn't know. A banquet, the home was stolen, and in the bedroom, Makoto fell into a deep sleep with a satisfied smile on his face. Only in Sasuke's bedroom, watching Baye and Kwan leave, Sasuke couldn't help but be stunned. He didn't even see Sarutobi Baye when he came back. How come Sarutobi Baye was beside me when I left? This made Sasuke confused. Where did this guy go just now? There is no place at home to hide people, strange. Where was this guy just now? The next day, drunk Fugaku and Itachi finally woke up. Drinking will make things worse. Even Master Baye didn't go to see him off, and I don't know when Master Baye left. You shouldn't blame us. As Fugaku said, Itachi on the side smiled and shook his head. Presumably with Master Baye's mind. Naturally, I won't argue with them over this trivial matter. If Baye heard this, we'll definitely laugh to death. That definitely won't count, because I had a wonderful night last night. All TM buddies, how could you care about such a trivial matter? The two of them finished washing, but found, usually you should have woken up early and prepared breakfast for Makoto. Why don't you get up at this time today? With full of doubts, Fugaku couldn't help but come to the bedroom, looking at Makoto who was still sleeping soundly. Why are you still sleeping? Are you sick? Fugaku was a little worried and stepped forward to wake Makoto up. Makoto woke up in a daze. Looking at Fugaku in front of him, he was immediately startled. He quickly looked at himself. When I found that everyone was dressed neatly, Makoto breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, it's okay, I cleaned it up too late yesterday, Well, it's okay, then you can rest. See, nothing happened. Fugaku didn't say anything anymore. Looking at the nervous Makoto, he thought he was too busy and tired from the party yesterday. Then he left the bedroom directly. But when leaving, Fugaku discovered Makoto today seems to be more beautiful than ever. It seems to have regained its luster. Seeing this scene, Fugaku suddenly had questions in his head. Could it be that it has been under maintenance recently? Strange, maybe I was too busy and didn't pay attention. If you have the heart to ask. Fugaku didn't know what to ask. Simply put these things behind you. After all, the most important thing now is to deal with the follow-up matters within the clan. After Fugaku left, Makoto sat up quickly, looking at the traces of yesterday's madness on my body. Everything I experienced last night suddenly appeared in my mind. Her pretty face turned red instantly. But soon, Makoto looked at himself in the mirror with a sad expression. I really didn't expect it to be so crazy last night. Now, is it really okay to do such a thing? I asked myself in my mind. Even Makoto himself doesn't know what to do at this moment. In desperation, I can only hide this matter in my heart. As for what happens next, that can only be discussed later. Within the Sarutobi clan, Baye woke up early in the morning. With a superhuman body, even if there was a big fight last night. Early in the morning it was still full of life. As a result, Baye, who fell asleep, had just finished washing up. Then he met Kwan's resentful gaze. As if to say again, why did you want a married woman last night? Neither wanted to be with her. See the situation. Baye suddenly smiled awkwardly. After all, everyone has the soul of a thief. Most people simply don't understand the beauty of South Thief's soul. As for little Hinata on the side, he looked at all this curiously. I still don't know what happened last night. Ahem. Let's go to school today, I haven't been there for a long time. I just happened to go take a look today. As Baye said. Hinata suddenly looked happy. This way you can go to school with Baye. Quickly got up and went to wash up. After that, I can accompany Baye to school. As for the spring, then he looked at Baye with a resentful look. My heart is full of grievances. See the situation. Baye also slowly came to Kwan and hugged him. Then he whispered in his ear. Why are you so anxious? Since you think so, then when you come back in the evening, be ready. Hearing this, Kwan instantly blushed. At this time, Hinata also looked towards Kwan curiously. See the situation. Kwan suddenly felt embarrassed to stay in the room any longer. He hurriedly covered his face and ran out. Seeing this scene, Baye also looked helpless. Sticks. At this level, I still only think about doing radio gymnastics with myself. I just said a few words and became so embarrassed. If there is some action. I'm afraid he fainted on the spot like Hinata. Seeing Kwan running out, Baye was bored waiting for Hinata to wash up. Fortunately, little Hinata is still very fast. After packing up, he followed Baye shyly. The two of them walked towards the ninja school. The guards of the Uchiha clan naturally followed closely behind. But on the way, Baye also met Naruto, who was also preparing to leave school. I learned that Baye was going to school today. Naruto suddenly looked happy. Great, brother Baye, why did you think of leaving school today? I thought that after you became a hero, brother, you wouldn't go to school. Along the way, Naruto was like a curious baby, constantly asking Baye various questions. During this time together, it was recognized here in Baye. Naruto also recognized Baye as his elder brother from the bottom of his heart. That's why. Of course Baye knows this very well. It's boring anyway. I chatted with Naruto along the way. By the way, I want to ask about the progress of Naruto's training. Speaking of which, Naruto suddenly became excited. Ha ha ha, brother, my current strength is very strong. Moreover, I also developed a brand new ninjutsu. Absolutely stunning. Hearing Naruto's solemn assurance, Baye couldn't help but become interested, looking at Naruto with interest. Okay, then you can show it. I want to see what ninjutsu you have developed. See Baye interested, Naruto was also eager to show off his ninjutsu. Next to me, Izumi and Hinata also looked curious. Did not expect. Naruto can also develop his own ninjutsu. With such a talent, no wonder Master Baye values him. Under everyone's gaze, put your hands together to form a seal. Looking at this seal, Baye couldn't help but be stunned. This seal, could it be? At this time Naruto formed the seal. Baye reacted instantly. It should be the technique in my memory. Really? As Naruto chakra activates, look at me. Seduction technique. Bang! I saw a cloud of smoke rising instantly. Shrouded Naruto in. Looking at this historic moment, Baye's eyes widened even more. Avoid missing any details. As for the perspective ability of the eyes, of course there is no need to use it. After all, the most beautiful state is the hazy state. Using perspective ability, it definitely doesn't look as good as in this hazy state. As the smoke dissipates little by little, inside, Naruto's figure was also vaguely revealed. Just one glance, Baye felt that her nose was a little itchy. On the side, Hinata and Izumi blushed even more. I saw Naruto at this moment. No, to be precise, it's Naruto now. A golden double ponytail. With a shy look on his face. Those ultimate long legs and half-covered chongsong. Simply the best of the best. Brother Baye. As Naruto called softly, Baye suddenly got goosebumps all over his body. This feeling, there was an inexplicable sense of excitement. Izumi on the side also stepped forward and punched Naruto back to his original shape. Naruto, what do you guys usually do? He actually developed this kind of ninjutsu. Faced with Quan's scolding, Naruto suddenly scratched his head in embarrassment. He laughed sheepishly. Baye on the side smacked her lips with regret. I haven't seen enough yet. Just as a group of people were walking towards the ninja school, Baye came to Naruto's side. He hugged Naruto. Then he whispered, Naruto, let me discuss something with you. From now on, whenever I'm around or when you come to see me, you're still in your technique form. How's that going? I think your technique is very good. Recognized by Baye. Naruto was immediately happy. As for Baye's request, Naruto naturally agreed without hesitation. Anyway, I got the approval from my eldest brother. Just keep it. Moreover, as the developer of this technique, Naruto can keep it up 24 hours a day even if he wants to. Because there is a mobile power bank called Nine Tails, and the chakra of the Uzumaki family is also abundant. I don't care about this little consumption at all. See the situation. Naruto also used the seduction technique again. This time Naruto was wearing something much more normal. However, a pair of ultimate perfect long legs are still eye-catching. Looking at Naruto turning into Naruto again, Quan suddenly looked at Baye angrily. Just looking at Baye's playful smile, I knew that this idea must have come from Baye. But this is Baye's request, and Quan can't say anything. A few people walked towards the ninja school like this. And on the road, Baye told Naruto, from now on, your identity is Naruto's sister. Just call Uzumaki Naruto. Thinking of bringing Naruto to class. It must be very fun. And Naruto naturally obeyed Baye's words. Follow Baye obediently. Soon everyone came to the classroom. As soon as you enter the door, all eyes in the class fell on Baye. When I saw Uzumaki Naruto next to me, all the boys let out gasps in unison. All go, so cute. That blonde hair is so pretty. It's still twin ponytails. Those long legs are beautiful too. Frog, what's her name? 1 minute, I want to know all her information. In an instant, the class became excited. And in the class, Sasuke, who had been looking out the window, was also a little irritated by the noise. His eyes couldn't help but turn towards the door. When seeing Baye, I was just about to say something, but his eyes couldn't help but look at Naruto next to Baye. This moment, Sasuke suddenly felt that his heartbeat seemed to be speeding up. Who is this girl? So beautiful. Chapter 71. Do not know why. Ever since the first time I saw Naruto, Sasuke found that he was deeply attracted to the other party. That unique temperament, that dazzling blonde hair. Everything makes Sasuke extremely obsessed. Little Sakura on the side saw this scene. Suddenly my teeth started to itch with anger. I have worked hard for so long. As a result, no one suddenly appeared to attract Sasuke. Then what's the use of your own efforts? For a time, even Naruto and Sakura were hated by little Sakura. Regarding the reaction of everyone in the class, Baye almost laughed out loud. If these guys knew Naruto is Naruto, it must have been a lot of fun back then. But now, it's better not to say it out loud. When these guys accidentally discover it, that's wonderful. And Baye also noticed Sasuke's eyes. In this regard, Baye just wants to say, these two people are indeed bound to each other. If it weren't for the fact that they were all men, I'm afraid all the Hokage ninjas would have turned into romance fans. No wonder the first time I saw Naruto. This is how Sasuke behaved. If you keep in contact with him for a long time, you may not directly turn into a dog-licking Sasuke. Thinking of this, Baye took Hinata and Naruto directly back to their seats. Soon Naruto came to the class. Looking at the somewhat unfamiliar Naruto, I couldn't help but be stunned. This is obviously not student 570 in my class. At this time, Naruto was also instructed by Baye. Made a self-introduction. I found out that she was Naruto's sister. Arranged by third generation. Uruka didn't know what to say. I'm just a little confused as to why Naruto doesn't come to class. In response, Naruto explained that she had gone out to practice. Uruka didn't say anything more after understanding. Today's course started directly, but Sasuke, who was sitting in front, felt very active at this moment. It turns out her name is Uzumaki Naruto. It sounds so nice. Much better than that idiot Naruto Uzumaki. And, so cute. For a time, I don't know why, this class, Sasuke's thoughts all drifted to Naruto. I didn't listen at all to what Uruka said. This scene. Naturally, it fell into the eyes of little Sakura. The angry little Sakura also had itchy teeth. The hand holding the pen continued to exert more force. It was almost broken. After class, Sasuke just wanted to get to know Naruto. Then I saw Naruto standing directly behind Baye. He pinched Baye's shoulders with a happy look on his face. Seeing this scene, Sasuke's face instantly darkened. Hateful, Sarutobi Baye. This moment, Sasuke's heart felt as if it had been cut into pieces by 1,000 knives. There is a feeling that something that should belong to you has been taken away. This feeling, Sasuke even felt chills all over his body. There is an urge to destroy everything. Naruto, how could you squeeze that fool's shoulders like this? Mine. Naruto should be mine. This moment, the hatred in his heart caused Sasuke's brain to secrete a special substance crazily. Suddenly, there was a cool feeling in his eyes. This is it. For a moment, Sasuke found that his eyes seemed to see more clearly. And, if you observe carefully, you can even see that other people's movements seemed to slow down. This change, Sasuke couldn't help but be stunned. I happened to see the mirror in the hand of little Sakura on the side. Sasuke grabbed it without any ceremony. I quickly looked in the mirror. Little Sakura on the side hasn't reacted yet. Seeing Sasuke actually looking at himself in the mirror, suddenly I felt happy. I think Sasuke finally responded to me. I was just about to say something to Sasuke. Then I saw Sasuke's red eyes. Little Sakura was instantly frightened. Sasuke-kun, your eyes. And in response to little Sakura, it was Sasuke laughing maniacally. Ah ha 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 ha. Finally. I finally turned on Sharingan. Looking at the Magatama Sharingan in the mirror, Sasuke's confidence instantly exploded. Increase in strength. It makes Sasuke feel confident again. Looking at Naruto massaging Baye's shoulders, Sasuke's eyes suddenly felt hot. Naruto can only belong to him, Uchiha Sasuke. Now that Sharingan has been turned on, naturally, I have to settle the score with Sarutobi Baye. Sarutobi Baye. CJCF. You fool, let me go Naruto. A playboy like you doesn't deserve a girl like Naruto. A series of questions. Baye was stunned immediately. Even other people in the class. They all looked this way one after another. No one expected Sasuke actually dared to provoke Sarutobi Baye. And, this time, he actually fell in love with Uzumaki Naruto. Seeing this, everyone also watched the excitement. After all, the nature of human beings is to watch the fun. Looking at Sasuke's pair of Magatama Sharingan slowly rotating, Baye immediately understood why Sasuke was so arrogant again. It turned out that Sharingan was turned on. Then I think of the scene just now. I thought of Sasuke because I saw Naruto massaging herself. Sharingan that turns on after being stimulated. Baye suddenly looked weird. Good guy. When the Uchiha clan was destroyed, Sasuke opened his Magatama in anger after seeing his whole family being killed. Arrived here, just because he glanced at Naruto and pressed his shoulder. You can actually open Sharingan directly. Good guy. In such a short period of time. Was Sasuke so stimulated? It is comparable to the stimulation I received on the night of genocide. You must know that on the night of genocide, Sasuke opened Sharingan and had Itachi's help. As a result now, no help at all, just turned on Sharingan. As expected of the Uchiha clan, everyone is an infatuated person. Obviously, if it were Naruto, the two would at best fall in love and kill each other. But if it were Naruto, that was Sasuke's true love. There is no doubt about the status. This is why Sasuke started Sharingan. See the situation. Baye also looked at Naruto aside. At this time, Naruto was also very panicked. I almost want to lift the seduction spell. But looking at Baye's eyes aside, Naruto suddenly smiled awkwardly. Who would have thought Sasuke, the always aloof brat, would actually have a crush on me? That fool Sasuke, what are you talking about? And Naruto's words, in Sasuke's ears, it seemed as if he was ambiguous with himself. At this time, in Sasuke's mind, it was all about what Naruto shouted to herself just now. Shit Sasuke, although this sentence sounds familiar. But when it came out of Naruto's mouth, it seemed so beautiful. Nice to hear, love to listen. This moment, Sasuke also went straight to the head. No matter what it takes, Naruto will be rescued from the hands of this fool Sarutobi Baye. Let's fight. This time, I will definitely let you see the true power of my Uchiha clan. Having said that, then he came to Baye confidently. Looking at the confident Sasuke in front of me, Baye suddenly said something in his heart. That is, the wind stopped and the rain stopped, and Sasuke felt that he was okay again. For Sasuke now, Baye really can't arouse the slightest interest. Not even the slightest desire to take action. But, looking at such arrogant Sasuke, Baye's eyes couldn't help but fall on Naruto beside him. Naruto, go and call Naruto. Why are you calling that crane guy? It's you I want to challenge. Sarutobi Baye. Seeing that Sarutobi Baye wants Naruto to deal with it himself, Sasuke suddenly became unhappy, determined to challenge Baye. It seems that only in this way can he avenge his past humiliation and wash away the fact that he was humiliated by Baye. Looking at Sasuke in front of me, Baye shook his head with disgust. Don't say I won't give you a chance. Don't you feel that your strength has improved since you turned on Sharingan? As long as you defeat Naruto, I promise to fight with you. If you can't even beat Naruto, Zuke, then what qualifications do you have to challenge me? Hearing this, Sasuke suddenly became anxious. It's Naruto who's behind the wheel. I can't beat him. Are you kidding? For Naruto's crane tail. Don't be too disgusted with Sasuke. I am the Uchiha clan who started Sharingan. How could it be possible to lose to a crane tail? If it weren't for the fact that Naruto is Naruto's younger brother. Sasuke has already started taunting mode. Little did he know that the Naruto in front of her was Naruto. Hearing that fool Sasuke looked down on him so much, Naruto was also angry. He hurriedly left the classroom and came to a deserted corner. After quickly using Shadow Clone to summon another self, then let Shadow Clone use seduction technique to transform back into Naruto. The two of them came to the classroom together. As soon as I entered the classroom, Naruto then went straight to Sasuke. You fool Sasuke, you're the only one who still wants to challenge my boss. Let's go through my level first and then talk about it. Let you see the results of my special training during this period. Looking at the rear of the crane in front of me. How dare you challenge yourself like this today? I originally planned to deal with Sarutobi Baye first. Now, let's start with the tail of your crane. A pair of Sharingan stared directly at Naruto. He couldn't help but sneer on his face. Then he looked at Naruto beside him. A rare look of nervousness suddenly appeared on Sasuke's face. Facing Naruto's gaze, Sasuke hurriedly said, "Don't worry, he is your brother, I will show mercy. My target is Sarutobi Baye, not him." Having said that, without looking back, he and Naruto went to the training ground. Looking at Sasuke leaving confidently, the shadow clone that turned into Naruto almost stopped laughing. Good guy, what kind of mysterious self-confidence is this? To be able to say such words. You know, the strength of the main body can crush you at will. At this time, still showing off, it really opened Shadow Clone's eyes. I saw both of them going to the training ground. The students in the class also hurriedly followed. For this kind of thing, naturally the more lively the better. You don't have to go to class. As for Baye, he held Hinata's hand and followed behind the large army. Walking slowly towards the training ground, Baye didn't react at all. This is so painful, Hinata. Practicing at home is still different from practicing in front of so many people. Walking among the crowd, Hinata blushed and lowered her head. There is a faint white smoke coming out of the forehead. He almost fainted immediately. Seeing this, Baye also quickly let go of Hinata's hand. Good guy, it seems that it still needs more practice. Come to the training ground. Everyone looked at Sasuke and Naruto, who had not seen each other for a long time. As soon as you come up, Sasuke then activated his Sharingan. The moment Sharingan appeared, it immediately attracted the attention of many girls. Wow, so cool. Is that Sharingan, the blood successor of the Uchiha clan? Sasuke-kun is so handsome. The nymphomaniac in the class fell instantly. For the worship of these nymphos, Sasuke seemed not to notice. My eyes are constantly searching among the crowd. Soon he saw an impatient Naruto. Seeing that Naruto was already a little unhappy, Sasuke also hurriedly prepared to start the competition. Crane tail, you'd better surrender immediately. Under my eyes, you have no chance of winning. Don't waste time. Hearing this, Naruto doesn't talk nonsense either. With a flick of his hand, a kunai flew towards Sasuke. For this kind of pediatric trick, under Sasuke's Sharingan, it's like a turtle speed. Just tilted his head slightly. The kunai flew past. Just when Sasuke was about to taunt Naruto, I saw a flash of golden light. Naruto's figure disappeared directly from the spot. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. The words are on my lips. Sasuke was shocked when he saw this scene. That golden light just now is so strange. A pair of Sharingan spun wildly, looking around for Naruto's figure. This moment, Sasuke didn't dare to be as arrogant as before. Just this sudden disappearance of the technique. Sasuke has never seen it. The speed was so fast that Sharingan didn't notice how Naruto disappeared. While Sasuke kept looking for Naruto, with the dazzling golden light, Naruto's figure appeared directly next to Sasuke. In Sasuke's horrified eyes, a constantly rotating chakra ball was quickly condensed in his hand. You fool Sasuke, try this. Rasengan. He pressed directly on Sasuke's back. Rasengan's wildly rotating chakra explodes directly. One strike, then Sasuke was blown away directly. Sharingan that makes Sasuke proud. This time it didn't even work at all. Not even Naruto's shadow could be seen. Bang! Sasuke's figure immediately flew out. It hit the ground hard and made no movement. Naruto couldn't help but be stunned when he saw this scene. Originally I just wanted to teach the fool Sasuke a lesson, but in the end it seemed like he was a bit harsh. Seeing Sasuke lying on the ground motionless for a long time, the injury to his back was even more serious. Naruto was also a little panicked and looked towards Baye hurriedly. Baye, who had noticed it a long time ago, also gave Naruto a reassuring look. Then he waved to not far behind him. Yakushi Nanoyu, who had been following Baye secretly to protect him, quickly came to Sasuke's side. Use medical ninjutsu to start treating Sasuke's injuries. Fortunately, the injury was not serious. Because Sharingan is activated, Sasuke's strength has improved a lot. Otherwise, Naruto's Rasengan shot just now. It could kill Sasuke directly. After receiving treatment, the onlookers felt relieved. And little Sakura hurriedly came to Sasuke's side and stood by with a worried look on her face. Fortunately, Sasuke woke up soon. You'd better train hard. You're still far behind. If you want to challenge me, wait until you beat Naruto. As Baye said, then he led everyone directly out of the training ground. He didn't even look at Sasuke. How can Sasuke accept this? What a strong self-esteem cannot accept is that. Naruto, whom he regarded as the last man in the world, actually surpassed him. Why? Unwilling to do so, Sasuke clenched his fists and pounded the grass in front of him. As if hating his own incompetence. Or maybe he is unwilling to be so weak. Seeing Sasuke collapse again, little Sakura felt extremely distressed. I just wanted to come forward to comfort you. 0. As a result, Sasuke unceremoniously shook off Sakura's hand. I don't need your pity. Everything I throw away, I will take it back with my own hands. After that, he left the school without looking back. Try to find ways to improve your strength. Little Sakura was left alone, feeling sad. After this challenge, time flies. During this period, both Jiraiya and Tsunade returned to the village. But he only stayed in the Hokage office for one day and then left Konoha again. Except for third generation, no one knows what they did when they came back. And the ninja world, however, several small country extortion cases occurred one after another. Several big names from small countries were severely blackmailed. As a result, the 5 major countries have recently added many tasks to protect the names of small countries. And within the Akatsuki organization that was the instigator. But it's still a mess. One of the members, Orochimaru, actually defected to the Akatsuki organization. When he left, he also took away a large amount of money extorted from him. But Angle was so angry. The Angle financial management designed by Laozi is not the Orochimaru financial management. The Akatsuki organization also launched a hunt for Orochimaru. But when it comes to the skill of escaping, no one can compare to Orochimaru. Orochimaru said second, no one dared to say first. In the end, this matter could only be left alone. Orochimaru really escaped too quickly. Orochimaru, who escaped, quickly found a base and established his own power. And received experimental materials sent by Baye, many pairs of Sharingan. And a kid named Yakushi Kabuto. Then Orochimaru started his research path as a ninja scientist. As for Baye, it means being a playboy every day. The life was extremely carefree. We are working hard for template integration every day. Occasionally visit the Uchiha clan. And Makoto is warm and gentle. And Izumi and Yakushi Nanoyu also had a wonderful night. Became its own shape. Time flies by. Soon came 6 years later. And today, it is also the day when Baye and the others graduate from ninja school. Husband, get up quickly. We have graduation exams today, so we can't be late, Chian. Husband, get up quickly. You have your graduation exam today, so you can't be late. Early in the morning, Baye was woken up by Hinata beside him. Looking at the already slim Hinata next to her. Even my habit of being shy to the point of fainting has improved a lot. I know. You go and clean up first, I'll be quick. Hearing the words, Hinata urged Baye again, and then went to wash up first. Seeing this scene, Baye couldn't help but smile. The wedding hasn't even been held yet, so why have you already entered the role of wife in advance? But, this feeling is quite warm. Unexpectedly, 6 years have passed. Time really flies by. Then he quickly got up from the bed and looked out the window at Quan, who had been waiting for a long time. Baye couldn't help but wave his stick in the direction of Quan. Seeing this, the latter. Her face suddenly turned red and she couldn't help but give Baye a white look. It looked like this early in the morning. Really shameless. Master Baye, hurry up. I'll be late. Hearing this, Baye didn't show any signs of ink. Seeing that Hinata had finished washing and came out. Then in the shocked eyes of Quan and others. 507. is just a blink of an eye. Baye had already washed and dressed neatly and stood in front of everyone. Looking at Baye, who is so fast, even if I have watched it countless times. Quan still couldn't help but said, "Master Baye, your ability is too convenient. With super speed, this level is naturally childish and not worth mentioning at all." Now 6 years have passed. Baye's template integration has also reached 95%. I don't know how much stronger I am than 6 years ago. However, as for the last 5%, no matter how Baye behaves as a playboy, his progress will not improve at all. As early as 2 years ago, Baye's template integration is stuck at 95%. It has been 2 years now, still stopped at 95% position, motionless. Baye felt as if cheat was broken. "Otherwise, I will try my best to be a playboy. How can you not move?" As for the Dakao template that Baye has longed for, now it seems to be a bit far away, only 5% short of it. Walking on the way to ninja school, Baye couldn't help but start to look forward to it, because the plot was about to begin. There should be some movement in this cheat, right? "Good morning, Master Baye." "Oh, Master Baye is handsome again." Master Gu Mayoning Baye. When Baye appeared in great force with everyone, the shop owners on both sides of the commercial street immediately greeted Baye. Baye, who was already irritable, suddenly lost his temper and said, "Gu, your mother's head is broken. Next time you default on your rent, I will burn down your shop." Hearing this, the bosses of the commercial street were not afraid at all. Instead, everyone laughed. Over the years, although Baye has been doing the crazy things of a playboy every day, but he didn't do anything harmful. In addition, as a hero of Konoha, this makes the residents of Konoha have a filter for Baye. Although Baye bullies men and women every day, violently collects rent, eats, drinks, whores and gambles, but it does not prevent Baye from being a lovely person in the hearts of the people. Ha ha ha, Master Baye is joking. Definitely next time, definitely next time. Master Baye, please come and sit down. We will treat you with the best ingredients. Looking at this group of cheap shopkeepers in front of me, Baye was speechless. It is simply outrageous to insist on being a dog instead of being a good person. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with these store owners. Along the way, Baye also met Uzumaki Naruto. Since using the seduction technique, Baye has always let Naruto see that she is still in Naruto form. During these 6 years, even Naruto himself didn't notice, as he seemed to be used to appearing in front of Baye in Naruto form. "Good morning, brother Baye." "Good morning, Naruto." Looking at the delightful Naruto, Baye's depressed mood suddenly improved a lot. Just as everyone was walking towards the school, but in Baye's mind, that wonderful reminder sounded after a long time. This moment, Baye almost cried with excitement. 6 years. Do you know how I spent these 6 years? The integration will obviously be completed soon. As a result, I was stuck for 6 years. I can only look at the super templates that are within my reach and sigh with admiration. Even when he was bored, Baye practiced chakra. But for Baye's improvement, it is simply negligible. It's useless to see. Baye simply gave up practicing the ninjutsu system, and it would be better to concentrate on fusion. Ding. The protagonist who has been bullying for many years appears in the form of a woman. Fusion plus 2%. Listening to the reminder in my mind, Baye became excited instantly. Soon, one step away from complete integration. The only thing that makes Baye unhappy is that the closer to the end, the slower the fusion level increases, which is simply whetting people's appetite. If it were before, this dandy incident can definitely directly increase the number by 10% or even 20%. As a result, now, the progress has only been increased by 2%. But it's better than nothing. Host: Sarutobi. Age: 16 years old. Ninjutsu: Basic Ninjutsu. Taijutsu: Konoha Fluid Technique. Illusion: Basic Illusion. Template: People of the Motherland. Fusion degree: 97%. Unlock abilities: Super Defense, Super Strength, Super Speed, Super Hearing, Flying, Perspective. The next wave of templates: Superman, Man of Steel. I took a look at my current template. Sure enough, Everything just happened as true, and the template integration that has been stagnant for many years has changed again. As expected, the plot is about to begin. Seeing all this, Baye suddenly felt very good. The pleasant atmosphere caused Hinata, Naruko and others around them to also become happy. Along the way, met many people. Maybe it's because today is graduation day. Every student had an excited smile on their face. When we arrived at the gate of the ninja school, 2 figures, one large and one small, came to Baye. Master Baye, since the problem of the Uchiha clan was solved by Baye, Uchiha Itachi basically looks up to Baye. As for Baye's order, once it is given, Weasel will execute it without hesitation. This is also the reason why the remaining Uchiha clan can remain until now. Looking at Itachi, who brought his younger brother Sasuke to take the graduation exam, Baye also smiled and nodded. Baye only wants to have as many loyal subordinates as he can. As for Sasuke on the side, at this moment, Baye was already fascinated by Naruko beside him. Where are the shadows of other people in my eyes? Seeing Sasuke like this, Itachi was speechless for a moment. Baye on the side is even more full of bad taste. In the past 6 years, Sasuke has not discovered that Naruko is Naruto. I still liked it for 6 full years. If it turns out that Naruko is Naruto, I'm afraid I can't turn on Mangekyo directly if I'm not angry. Thinking of this, Baye suddenly had an idea in his mind. No, we must let Sasuke see the dangers of the human heart. I'd like to see, after knowing the truth, can Sasuke open Mangekyo? Ahem, let's go in first. Although I have a plan in my mind, it is not yet time to execute it. After saying hello to Itachi, Baye led everyone directly into the school. And Itachi also looked at Sasuke beside him with a serious face at this moment. He said earnestly, Sasuke, did you know that you were rude just now? Master Baye is the benefactor of our Uchiha clan. You must respect your father as much as you do. If there is another time, I can only tell the truth to my father. Hearing this, Sasuke suddenly trembled. Over the years, whenever Urzuzi felt he had made some progress, he would provoke Baye. Then every day I was either on the way to be beaten or on the way to prepare for a beating. The weather cleared and the rain stopped. Urzu felt that he was doing well again. As a result, what happened at school was spread to home again. As soon as he returned home, Urzu enjoyed the long-lost father's love. After being beaten at school, I will also be beaten at home. As a result, Sasuke almost had a psychological shadow on his family. But this also led to Sasuke's rapid progress and his strength being much stronger than in the original work. I can only say that the protagonist's life is 0.0, which belongs to Xiaoqiang completely. The more you fight, the harder it gets. Seeing his brother favoring Sarutobi Baye again, Sasuke turned his head away in dissatisfaction. He murmured, I don't accept it. I won't. I will definitely prove that I, Uchiha Sasuke, am better than him, Sarutobi Baye. After saying that, he ran directly into the school. See the situation. Itachi also shook his head helplessly. I feel a little helpless for Sasuke. No matter how many times I say it, this kid just refuses to accept it. If it weren't for Master Baye, our Uchiha clan might have been exterminated. You become an orphan directly. How can I be like now, with my parents by my side, living these years carefree? Forget it, I can only try to change Sasuke's mind. After the graduation exam is over, being assigned to a team should change Sasuke's mind. Thinking of this, Itachi couldn't help but look in the direction of the Hokage building. It seems that all the Jonin are going to gather today, so I'd better go there quickly. And inside the ninja school, as soon as Baye walked in, haven't reacted yet, a beautiful figure rushed forward instantly. Master Baye, you are finally here. Master Baye, you are finally here. Looking at the beautiful figure rushing toward him, Baye hurriedly hugged him, feeling the lovely person in his arms constantly rubbing against him. Seeing everyone in the class paying attention, Baye was also a little helpless. He hurriedly stopped the other party's behavior. Enough, Ino. We meet every day, what's wrong with you? After hearing Baye's words, Ino in her arms suddenly became unhappy. He pouted his mouth and said a little aggrievedly, that's different. I am very happy to see you, Master Baye, every day. I feel very, very sad when I can't see you. I feel like I'm sick. I feel sick when I can't see you. Listen to Ino's nonsense, looking at the increasingly weird looks in the eyes of the students around me. Baye hurriedly covered Ino's mouth and dragged the other person back to his position. Good guy. Let Ino continue. How shameless do you think you are in the class? Although I will graduate soon. However, if these guys in the class spread the news about today, I no longer want to be known as the strongest second generation in Konoha. The most important is, I have nothing. I'm just afraid that that old guy Yamanaka Haichi will fight with me. Anyone who sees his own 29 cabbage rushing up to be fooled by a pig will not be able to accept it. Return to position. Ino suddenly had a happy expression on her face. I am suddenly so happy. I was actually dragged away by Master Baye under the attention of my classmates. Ah, looking at Ino's obsessed expression, Baye suddenly felt a chill. Good guy, is this the legendary bottom girl? As for women licking dogs, not counting Ino, because there is someone more heaven-defying than Ino sitting there. Watching Ino not only come into contact with the man she loves, but she was also dragged away by him in a way that seemed to be disgusting but was actually ambiguous. This makes little Sakura extremely envious. I have been working hard for 6 years. I have always loved Uchiha Sasuke, but I have never received a positive response. Even so, little Sakura was still discouraged and gathered around Sasuke. I just hope that the other party can look back at me and see that I have always been standing behind him. Just when little Sakura was filled with envy, suddenly I saw Sasuke walking in. Suddenly his eyes lit up, just like a wild dog suddenly bursting out of the grass when you pass by. He rushed to Sasuke's side in an instant. Sasuke-kun, you're here. I also brought you breakfast today. It's a love bento made by myself. I've put you in your place. After all, little Sakura is like a child who wants to be praised by her parents for doing good deeds. He looked at Sasuke expectantly. However, Sasuke's reaction made little Sakura instantly feel cold. Faced with little Sakura's attentiveness and the loving breakfast on the table, Sasuke had no intention of paying attention. Come directly to your seat. He pushed aside the loving breakfast. Then in the shocked eyes of little Sakura, take out a new love breakfast. That's right, it's breakfast with love. The pink box and the heart-shaped food inside. At this moment, little Sakura was stunned. Sasuke, who has always been aloof, actually brought out a love breakfast. Just when little Sakura was confused, I couldn't help but beat a drum in my heart. My thoughts began to expand rapidly, and I watched Sasuke stand up with the love breakfast. And looked at myself. Could it be that Sasuke made this breakfast just for himself? My hard work over the past few years has finally paid off. This moment, little Sakura was immediately moved by the picture in her mind and cried. Then he stood in front of Sasuke with a happy face. Sasuke-kun, are you making this for food? Don't worry, I will definitely eat them all. After saying that, he reached out to take the breakfast of love from Sasuke's hand. Looking at the incomprehensible woman in front of him, Sasuke frowned. This guy wouldn't think that this breakfast was for her. Sasuke hurriedly moved the breakfast in his hands. Avoid being touched by the self-righteous woman in front of you. Get out of the way. The troublesome guy. After that, he pushed the little Sakura in front of him away. Then he took the breakfast and walked to the back row. This sudden scene made little Sakura unable to react. Then little Sakura saw a scene that she will never forget in her life. Sasuke, who has always been aloof. At this moment, he came to Naruko's desk with a shy face. Passed the love breakfast in his hand. Naruko, I made this specially this morning. Try it. After putting down the breakfast in his hand, Sasuke ran back to his place as fast as he could. Looking at the breakfast on the table, Naruko's eyes suddenly lit up. In Naruto's eyes, there are only things that can be eaten and things that cannot be eaten. As for who sent it, Naruto didn't care. There is food delivered to your door. If you don't eat, you won't eat. Just open the love breakfast and enjoy it. And Sasuke, who had been paying attention to Naruko, suddenly looked happy. She ate it. She ate it. Great. It's true to ask mom. As expected of Naruko, she looks so good even when eating. looking at Naruko eating love breakfast, and Sasuke with a look of admiration on her face. Little Sakura only felt that the classroom was obviously warm, but at this moment there was a biting coldness. If there is a song. That is, I should be under the car. Shouldn't be in the car. This weird scene. Baye was stunned for a moment. Good guy. What kind of strange development is this? If Naruto hadn't been changed by himself. Plus if Naruto goes to lick little Sakura again, it will be a sure blow. The three people directly form a perfect closed loop. No, unable to accept all this, little Sakura suddenly let out a cry of reluctance with great sadness. Then he ran out of the classroom without looking back. It's obvious that I came first, and it's obvious that I've always been behind Sasuke-kun. In the end, on the contrary, he looked like a clown. Unable to accept the excitement, little Sakura fled the scene. Looking at little Sakura leaving. When Ino saw this, after hesitating for a moment, he decided to chase him out. No matter what happens, little Sakura is my best friend. It would be bad if Sakura-chan couldn't think about it for a while. For a time, the whole classroom became agitated again. Shikamaru, who was also sitting in the back row, was speechless at the moment. A person with a high IQ like him. He always seems out of place among this group of guys who only know how to talk about love. What left Shikamaru speechless the most was, next to him sat a Choji who kept eating, and Inuzuka Kiba playing with Akamaru. Seeing these monsters in the classroom, Shikamaru rubbed his swollen head helplessly. Fine, this will all end soon. Today is the last day of this class. Wait until the graduation exam is over. 737 He can escape from the sea of suffering. Just when the class was getting noisy, Iruka and Mizuki walked into the classroom one after another. Looking at the people in the classroom, missing little Sakura and Ino. Because it is a graduation exam and must be taken, someone needs to find these two people. Iruka couldn't help but scan around the class. As for Naruto, Iruka already knows that Naruko is Naruto. However, Naruto has been attacking in Naruko form. It's hard for Iruka to say anything, after all, no one has a little quirk. Moreover, Naruko is indeed more obedient than Naruto. It was obviously one person, but he could show two images. The truth opened Iruka's eyes. Without waiting for Iruka to appoint someone, Mizuki on the side spoke first. Classmate Baye. Ino and you have always had a good relationship. We will take the graduation exam soon. We can't miss this. How about you go find them too? Looking at Mizuki with a kind smile on his face. If I hadn't already known this guy's background, I'm afraid I might be fooled by this guy's kind appearance and think he is a good teacher. But what Baye didn't expect was that this guy actually assigned himself to go out to find it, which surprised Baye. Interesting, although I don't know what kind of medicine this guy is selling in his gourd. But Baye didn't bother to care about it. Anyway, any plan will be of no use to you. I just went out to see if there was any chance to complete the remaining 3% of the fusion degree. It's really hard to be stuck here. Looking at Baye leaving, Shuimu suddenly secretly rejoiced. HMPH, the most difficult person in the class is finally gone. When the exam comes around, I can implement my plan. Haha, you want to get me away. I just don't know who will be Mizuki's target this time. After walking out of the classroom, Baye walked slowly down the corridor. But my mind is constantly recalling the details of the original plot. Although Baye's style of doing things has always been to just go ahead and do it. But this does not prevent you from strengthening your body and having a good mind. Things that were originally vague in my memory. Now it is all clearly visible. Even when I was a child, I vaguely felt like I wet the bed. Now it's as clear as the scene reappearing. As for Mizuki who jumped out at this moment, Naruto will definitely not become the opponent's target anymore. After all, Naruto is gone. Instead, there is the Uzumaki Naruto whom we all recognize. Naruto is being naughty and throwing paint. Naruto is bad. Naruto is beautiful, cute and lovable. Hello Naruto. As for others, Baye thought about it for a while and found that there seemed to be no one that met the water and wood goals. After all, we need to be close to the Hokage building. He also has to steal the sealed book under the guard of many Anbu. This is no less difficult than stealing Jinchuriki from other people's villages. And, still a freshly graduated genin. Even genin who couldn't graduate. Now think about the original work, only Naruto's identity can do this. As for others, I'm afraid I'll be caught before I even take action. Do you really think that third Hokage is just for nothing? If it weren't for the guilt towards Naruto and wanting to give Naruto some compensation, plus Naruto was about to graduate from school. We must give Naruto some strength to protect himself. This allowed Naruto to take the seal from the Hokage building in full public view. Find someone else, send it directly to the root and torture it to find out who instigated it. Forget it, let's go find Ino and the others first. It's time to take the exam, and I don't know where I'm going. Simply don't think about it. If you want to know who Mizuki is bewitching, when the gears of the plot start turning in the evening, you will know who will be the unlucky guy. The most urgent task is to find those two little girls first. As a result, Baye just took 2 steps. Then I met Ino, who was running back in a hurry. Master Baye, what should I do? I can't find little Sakura, and I don't know where she went. What should I do if something happens? Looking at Ino, who looked worried. Baye not only felt a little emotional. Compared to little Sakura, Ino is obviously much smarter. The most important point is, Ino knows how to stop losses in time. After seeing this, he rubbed Ino's little head and said, "Okay, you go back to the classroom first, and I'll go look for you. The exam has already started, don't be late." "Okay, then Mr. Baye, please come back as soon as possible." I heard that Baye was going to find him. Ino was also very obedient and returned to the classroom directly. As for the reason, that is unconditional trust in Baye. As long as Baye wants to do something, there is nothing he can't do. Looking at the huge school, if you want to find someone as quickly as possible, then you can only use the ability of perspective. Soon, Baye's eyes shone with an inexplicable light. The field of vision is instantly expanded. Through classrooms. Even the students in the class can all see through. In several of the classes, there are also some extremely talented players. Just one glance, Baye was a little shocked. I go. So big, the exaggerated dimensions are simply jaw-dropping. It really will explode if you look at it one more time. After getting rid of all the strange images in my mind, Baye hurriedly looked for little Sakura. Fortunately, it's class time now. They are taking graduation tests at every age. Other lower grade students are still taking classes. The school is relatively quiet, there is no chaos. It's easy to find someone, as long as the person hasn't left the school. As Baye looked around for a week, eyes that are more useful than white eyes can even shorten the field of vision. Little Sakura's figure was soon spotted. Originally, after little Sakura ran out of the classroom in anger. I didn't know where to go for a while. If she goes home, her parents will definitely ask her why she came back. Moreover, today is the graduation exam. If you don't get the Genin forehead protector after graduation, you will definitely be punished by your parents. But when I think about going back to class, I have to see Sasuke-kun and Naruto, that fool. Little Sakura couldn't help but get angry. After thinking about it, unknowingly, I came to the door of a utility room. Looking at the various discarded equipment inside, little Sakura got in without any hesitation. It just so happened that no one could find her. Zin Zizis, you really know how to hide. Don't tell me, most people really can't find you. Just when little Sakura was crying silently, Baye appeared in the utility room. The cynical ridicule immediately made little Sakura even more sad. You are already hiding here, and you are still teasing yourself. This is simply too much. For a time, I was sobbing silently, but the moment I saw the person, then he started crying loudly. This voice, Baye was shocked directly. What a good guy, he is indeed a woman's man, even when he cries, he is different from others. Still crying. Crying counts as time. The graduation exam has started. Are you planning to graduate? Hearing this, not only did little Sakura have no intention of taking the exam. Instead, she became even more sad, as if Baye had done something sorry for her. It's just baffling. At this moment, I can't even deal with Baye directly. Not what this little girl means. What the hell are you crying loudly in front of me? You should ask Sasuke. Baye, whose head hurt due to little Sakura's crying, directly covered little Sakura's mouth. The crying suddenly stopped. All that was left was a choked whimper. At this moment, Baye suddenly discovered. The crying little Sakura was staring at him with her big watery eyes. But Baye doesn't know. At this moment, little Sakura's heart is extremely active. Sakura. Wow, Master Baye is so handsome. So domineering. I like it. Sakura. No, I like Sasuke-kun. I always have. Sakura. Sasuke, what do you like about that licking dog? People love Naruto, not you. Sakura. I don't believe it. Sasuke-kun will definitely look back at me. I will always wait for him. Sakura. Waiting for you. Ha 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 ha, are you kidding me? Have you forgotten how Sasuke licked the dog just now? He doesn't have you in his heart, it's just you who is so sentimental. Look at Sarutobi Baye in front of you. Isn't he 100 times stronger than Sasuke? In terms of appearance, strength, and family power, in what way is he not stronger than Sasuke? If you ask me, let's take advantage of the fact that no one will come to the utility room. Don't stop doing it. Get rid of him. Sakura. How is this allowed? How can you say such a thing? In reality, little Sakura's pretty face turned red instantly. Inspired by my heart, his eyes suddenly stared at Baye without blinking. I directly showed Baye's hair. He quickly let go of his hand. Sakura stopped crying when she saw little Sakura, she just kept looking at him. Baye suddenly felt that something was not right with the little Sakura in front of him. Hurrying to leave the utility room. At this moment, little Sakura's heart suddenly became anxious when she saw Baye was about to run away. This is on the tip of your tongue, how can you let it slip away? Sakura. What are you waiting for? Just go. Maybe the hint Sakura gave was too strong. Let little Sakura have no fear at this moment. Walked directly towards Baye. I don't know how long it has been. But it was still noon when I just came out of class. It's almost dusk now. It seems it's almost time for school to end. If you are not afraid good money is good that it will be too late for the graduation exam. Maybe it's not over yet. Seeing that it was too late, little Sakura hurriedly reminded Baye and expressed a truce. It seems that there is really not enough time. Baye nodded in agreement. After a long time, little Sakura walked out of the utility room while holding on to the wall. The shock Baye brought to her today was really too great. But before leaving, little Sakura suddenly turned her head and stared at Baye for a long time. Until Baye was a little scared to look at it, and when he was about to leave directly. Little Sakura slowly spoke. Don't think too much. Just because I did it doesn't mean I like you. After that, he walked towards the classroom without looking back, but his walking posture was shaky and awkward. And Baye even called him a good guy. Sakura, the little ninja world, has figured out all the inequalities, who are the family members. That's all. The two of them walked towards the classroom to eat, one after the other. At this time in the classroom, the graduation exam has also been carried out to the last few people. As for Baye and little Sakura, of course they were put directly into the final test. But soon, Iruka read Haruno Sakura's name. Next, Haruno Sakura. Haruno Sakura hasn't come back yet. Haruno Sakura. Haruno Sakura hasn't come back yet. Seeing that the teacher has called little Sakura, Ino in the class was also secretly anxious. Why haven't we seen little Sakura come back yet? If you miss this, you won't be able to graduate. Fortunately, Baye and little Sakura, who came back from the utility room, have already arrived at the door of the classroom. I heard my name being called in the classroom. Little Sakura was also worried. But up to now, my legs are still weak. I can't even run away. The anxious little Sakura suddenly glared at Baye beside her angrily. This made Baye stare in confusion. You jumped on yourself. What does it have to do with me? Moreover, don't you know what your situation is? It's obviously the first time. You must appear to be versatile and exploit me crazily. You still have the nerve to stare at me here. But Baye also knows that he is not the ruthless man who draws his gun. Then he quickly came to the door of the class. Teacher Iruka, little Sakura is behind you, she's already here. You move on to the next person first and put her last. Hearing this, Iruka stopped calling Sakura's name. Start testing with the next person. Seeing this, Shuimu on the side suddenly thought something bad. I haven't found the target of my seduction yet. Why is this Sarutobi Baye already back? Looking at Baye who has sat back down, 683. Shuimu immediately frowned. I just felt a surge of energy and blood in my heart, and my breathing was a little unsmooth. I originally wanted to choose someone early. As a result, all the students in this class easily completed the graduation test. As a result, I haven't seen a single candidate yet. Seeing that there are only a few people left on the list, Mizuki also started to get anxious. But the next one made Mizuki's eyes light up. Uzumaki Naruto. After Iruka read out the name, his eyes suddenly looked helplessly towards Naruto, who was sitting in the last row. Fortunately, before the test, Naruto left the shadow clone. When I heard Iruka pronounce his name, the clone hurriedly ran in from outside. Hey, Mr. Ika. I'm here, see the situation. Iruka was also speechless. Young people have a lot of fun. Okay, don't be such a poor person. Let's take a test. Today's test is about being trapped in a clone. After that, he took out the scoreboard and waited for Naruto to perform. Fortunately, Naruto's strength is no longer what it used to be. Just a clone technique. It's not a problem for him at all. Then under the gaze of everyone, Shadow Clone directly produces the seal of clone technique. Bang! Along with a cloud of smoke, everyone just wanted to see what Naruto had changed. As a result, when the smoke cleared, everyone took a closer look and saw that there was still someone there. There was nothing on the empty podium. Kindness. What's going on? Where's Naruto? I don't know. Disappeared into thin air. Looking at the empty podium, everyone in the classroom suddenly looked at each other. Naruto, who was sitting in the last row, looked embarrassed. Because the shadow clone just disappeared. Because I waited outside for too long. With nothing to do, Shadow Clone stepped on the wall and ran around looking around. As a result, chakra was consumed a bit too much. The last bit of chakra is reserved for testing. You know, the amount of a clone technique is the amount of a clone technique. The moment that led to the use of clone technique. Shadow Clone disappears immediately after the chakra is exhausted. Feeling the feedback from Shadow Clone, Naruto was immediately embarrassed to death. Good guy, precise control, I don't want to keep even a little bit more chakra. Seeing that Iruka's face was so dark that it was almost turning into carbon, Naruto was also worried that he would be killed. Rushed out of the classroom. I came to a place where there was no one and lifted the seduction spell. Then he ran back in a hurry. Cast the clone technique again. This calmed Iruka's anger. And Naruto is next. It's Baye's turn. Sarutobi Baye. Hearing Iruka call his name, Baye slowly came to the podium. Naturally, I am no stranger to the clone technique of the exam. After all, in the past 6 years, without increasing the level of fusion, I still learned ninjutsu. But it's just basic ninjutsu. Fortunately, clone technique is also a basic ninjutsu. But Baye was too lazy to use clone technique to pass the exam. The figure flashed. Relying on his super speed, he actually created an afterimage directly on the side. An afterimage that looks like a real person. This is comparable to the afterimage of clone technique, and naturally allowed Baye to pass the exam smoothly. Just when Baye was about to take the forehead protector and put it down, Sasuke stood up at this moment. Sarutobi Baye, what you just used is not clone technique at all. You cheated. Hearing this, everyone in the class was suddenly in an uproar. They all looked towards Baye. Unexpectedly, the grandson of the dignified Hokage would actually cheat. And Iruka frowned even more. Clone technique is originally a ninjutsu that interferes with the enemy. The afterimage of Baye just now perfectly demonstrates this point. Why did it become cheating? If this matter is not handled well, the impact will be very serious. Sasuke-san, how can you be sure that Baye is cheating? Hearing the words, Sasuke immediately pointed to his eyes with a confident expression. That's all. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, my eyes instantly opened Sharingan. I saw the 3 Magatama Sharingan slowly turning in his eyes. Just my pair of Sharingan. Baye just used his speed to create an afterimage. It's not clone technique at all. I didn't follow the exam requirements. Isn't this pressure? In the past few years, although Sasuke has been beaten violently, but it does not represent Sasuke cuisine. On the contrary, Sasuke's progress was getting faster and faster after being beaten all the time. Even Sharingan successfully unlocked the 3 Magatama. So, these years, Sasuke has been looking for an opportunity. A chance to prove myself. It's not about proving how great you are. But he wants to prove to everyone that he will get back what he has lost with his own hands. Today is the last day at school. It's also Sasuke's last chance. That's why there was a scene where Sasuke stood up and accused Baye of cheating. For a time, the whole classroom fell silent. They all looked at Iruka and Mizuki. I want to see how the 2 teachers handle this matter. At this time, the 2 of them were also a little unsure. Iruka thinks Baye is strong enough and can pass. And this is to test the confusing ability of clone technique. This afterimage can be considered a clone, and it is completely qualified. As for Mizuki, it is simpler. It's entirely because I don't want to provoke the evil star Sarutobi Baye. Avoid interruptions to your plans. Just when the 2 were hesitant, Baye had a smile on his face at this moment. Because, Baye has already thought about where the remaining 3% of the fusion degree of his template comes from. Seeing 2 teachers hesitating, Baye couldn't help but remind him softly, "Teachers, did I cheat?" Hearing this, Iruka hasn't reacted yet. On the side, Shuimu froze. What's going on with this slightly threatening tone? Then he looked up at Baye and found that Baye was staring at him meaningfully. Shuimu, who was startled, hurriedly said, "Ahem, no cheating, no cheating. How can this be cheating? It is completely a reasonable use of the rules. I think it can be given a pass." "What do you think, Iruka?" "When I met Mizuki, they all said it was no problem." Iruka, who originally thought he could pass, naturally agreed. "No problem, I think I can pass normally." After unified opinions, Mizuki quickly handed over the Konoha forehead protector to Baye. "Ha ha ha, classmate Baye, from today on, you are a qualified genin. Take the forehead protector." Baye immediately looked at Sasuke with a smile on his face. Then he shook the Konoha forehead protector in his hand. "Look, I still passed." Seeing this situation, Sarutobi Baye can successfully get the ninja forehead protector. Sasuke's lungs almost exploded with anger. Laozi jumped out just to prevent him from graduating smoothly. Not only was it unsuccessful, Baye also mocked her with a slap in the face after getting the forehead protector. This made Sasuke unable to bear it, and rushed directly to the podium. "You are practicing favoritism. What are you 2 doing? You got a pass even though you were obviously cheating." Face Sasuke and squirt wildly. Iruka and Mizuki were immediately unhappy. In what way? Both of them are also teachers. It's Konoha's Chunin. It's your turn to have a kid who just graduated from ninja school come up and point his nose and scream angrily. "Sasuke-san, this is all reasonable and legal. What is favoritism? Since you passed the exam, leave quickly and don't talk nonsense here." After Mizuki said this, he started to drive Sasuke away. It was nothing at first, but this blatant expulsion made Sasuke's eyes red with anger. Waves of thick breath kept coming out. Okay. I'm going to the 3rd Hokage to sue you. You guys are complicit. You practice favoritism and malpractice. Obviously I finally caught the opportunity on the last day. An opportunity to make a comeback all at once. How could Sasuke give up so easily? Hearing that Sasuke is going to sue him at the 3rd Hokage, Mizuki and Iruka both looked at Baye on the side. See the situation. Baye also suppressed a smile and said, "Go ahead. Do you know the way? Do you want me to take you there?" Hearing this, only then did Sasuke react. 3rd Hokage is this guy's grandfather. He went to his grandfather to sue his grandson. Isn't this just exposing your face and letting the other party hit you? With just one sentence, Sasuke was instantly silenced. As a result, Sasuke froze in place. After thinking for a long time, he still couldn't think of a reason. Is there really nothing that can be done to the other party? While Sasuke was thinking hard, Baye slowly came to Sasuke. He patted Sasuke's face with the ninja forehead protector he just got. "What do you think being a ninja is? You can become a ninja by taking on missions and completing missions." In response to this, Sasuke suddenly looked at Baye with some confusion. "Isn't that what ninjas are supposed to be like?" Isn't it just taking tasks and doing tasks? What else could there be? Looking at Sasuke's confused eyes, Baye then slowly spoke, be a ninja. You must have strength and background. Which family are you from? The Uchiha clan. When Baye asked himself, Sasuke subconsciously answered. As a result, the next second, Baye's words directly made Sasuke's anger level explode again. It turns out to be little Yakuza. Sasuke instantly rushed towards Baye with red eyes. Grabbed Baye's collar. What did you say? Say it again if you can. Seeing Sasuke, I want to hear it again. Baye naturally tried his best to satisfy it. After all, he had never heard such a request in his life. I said, it turns out to be. As soon as he finished speaking, Sasuke then punched Baye directly in the face. However, this kind of attack, I simply couldn't see it. A blow that seemed full of rage. The result has not yet fallen on Baye's face. Baye grabbed him with one hand. I don't even have the strength to hit anyone. Still want to be a ninja? You might as well train in the ninja school for a few more years. After saying that, he exerted force on his hand and threw Sasuke away. The powerful power makes Sasuke unable to even control his own body. He instantly flew towards the desk in front of him. When the students in the front row saw this, they dared not wait. They all ran away from the practice car. Rumble. A series of desks were smashed directly by Sasuke. And Sasuke fell directly into the middle of a pile of broken tables. Seeing this scene, the students who were hiding around suddenly took a breath of cold air. The eyes looking at Baye were full of awe. When the gap is really too great, all we can do is look up. I think you have no objections now, right? Hearing this, the whole class shook their heads one after another. Who dares to have an opinion? With this background and strength, anyone who dares to have an opinion is that the old man is really eating arsenic because he thinks he will live longer. No, if Master Baye is not strong enough to graduate, then it is cheating for personal gain. That's right, it's normal for Master Baye to pass the graduation test. If we fail, we must go to Lord Hokage to complain. That's right. Listening to the compliments from everyone in the class, the long-lost reminder finally sounded in Baye's mind. Finally come. The moment the prompt sounds, Baye's eyes suddenly lit up. He returned to his seat in an instant. With an excited heart, I am ready to check out the harvest this time. And others in the class, they looked at each other in shock, and no one made any move. Fortunately, Yakushi Nunoyu came in quickly outside the window, treated Sasuke for a while and then left. Sasuke was hit again. After getting up from the ground, he left the classroom without looking back. After all, I was embarrassed in front of the whole class again. What are you still doing here? But when I go out. But I bumped into little Sakura coming back tremblingly. At this moment, little Sakura's mind is filled with the scene of being with Baye just now. My legs still tremble. Sasuke didn't even notice coming out. As a result, little Sakura, who was supposed to go over and take care of Sasuke immediately, did not move for a long time. Snort. Seeing that little Sakura, this licking fool doesn't pay attention to me. This made Sasuke feel even more frustrated. As if everything is against me. He snorted coldly on the spot and quickly left the school. Only then did little Sakura react. Ah, Sasuke-kun. Looking at Sasuke who left angrily, little Sakura couldn't help but feel sad. Now she didn't even want to look at herself. Perhaps, choosing Mr. Baye is the right choice. But this idea was quickly forgotten by little Sakura. The most important thing now is to pass the graduation test. I haven't even entered the classroom yet. Because the table was smashed. There is no need for students who have passed the test to stay any longer. I took the forehead protector and went home happily. And Ino also saw little Sakura at the door. He immediately greeted him with a happy face. Sakura, you are finally here. Ha ha ha, you don't even know what just happened. Master Baye has made another big move with Kamui tyrannizing Sasuke. I guess I shouldn't tell you this. Noticed that little Sakura looked a little embarrassed. Ino couldn't help but smile, but still sent blessings to her sisters. Come on. You will pass smoothly. Ha ha ha, of course, I'm the top student, Sakura. With the blessings of good sisters, little Sakura immediately forgot about the unpleasantness just now. Then he walked into the classroom. Even when she entered, Ino still noticed her shaky legs. Watching little Sakura in action, Ino was suddenly confused. Are you injured? Probably not. Why are you walking like this? Just when Ino was confused, several more little sisters shouted. Ino then shook her head and got rid of the messy thoughts. Leave in a hurry. And inside the classroom, most students have passed the assessment and left. Baye is the only one left in the back row. As for Hinata and Naruto, after passing the assessment, Baye went back one step at a time. Because we have to prepare for the evening celebrations. I saw the whole classroom. Only 2 teachers, Iruka and Mizuki, were left. As well as Baye and little Sakura. Watching little Sakura coming, Iruka then motioned to little Sakura to come over for testing. But Mizuki stood up and said, Iruka, I'm just a student, so I'll leave it to you to test. I still have something to do, so I'll take the first step. Iruka naturally doesn't care about this. Everyone is in a hurry, so they immediately tell Mizuki that they understand. Before leaving, Shuimu couldn't help but take a deep look at Baye in the back row. Then he left the school in a hurry. It is obvious that he has already chosen the target of his plan. Ha ha ha. Speaking of which, I have to thank you, Sarutobi Baye Guang. After Shuimu left, Iruka then signaled to little Sakura that she could start the test. Thinking that I will graduate soon, little Sakura suddenly suppressed the excitement in her heart. Slowly came to the podium. However, the trembling posture made Iruka think something had happened to little Sakura. Suddenly he was a little curious and asked, Sakura, are you feeling unwell? If you can't hold on, we can wait until you have rested before continuing. And in response to Iruka, it's little Sakura's determined expression. Then under the witness of Iruka, little Sakura makes a hand seal. Clone technique. Bang! A cloud of smoke rose instantly. And an identical clone also appeared next to little Sakura. Even the details on the body are exactly the same. It is enough to prove little Sakura's talent in chakra control. Iruka on the side also clapped appreciatively. Good control skills. Sakura, your basic skills are very solid, really good. Then, congratulations, Iruka said as he took out the last Konoha forehead protector. Slowly handed it to little Sakura. He couldn't help but smile. You are now a genin of Konoha. Continue to work hard from now on. You graduated. Looking at the ninja forehead protector in his hand, little Sakura immediately held it tightly in her hand. This moment, little Sakura has a lot of thoughts in her mind. 6 years of events, the scenes that happened in school and the sacrifices made to Sasuke. Just when little Sakura recalled. But the scene in the utility room with Baye not long ago suddenly appeared in my mind. Thinking of this, little Sakura's pretty face suddenly turned red. His already trembling legs were even more weak at this moment, and he almost fell to his knees. Fortunately, Iruka discovered it in time. He hurried forward and helped little Sakura sit aside. I told you no more. Okay, you have to have a good rest after you go back. Just take it easy first, and let Baye take you home later. I think it should be fine. Speaking of which, Iruka couldn't help but look towards Baye who was still in a daze in the back row. Little Sakura on the side heard this and nodded sheepishly. And Iruka also completed his mission today. Another class was brought out. It's time to go back and relax for yourself. Then, you have to work hard in the future. Teacher can only accompany you so far. Remember to come to class and wait for your leading teacher tomorrow. Don't be late. As Iruka's voice gradually disappeared, little Sakura then discovered, I don't know when teacher Iruka left. There were only 2 people left in the class, myself and Baye. Thinking about the scenes that happened before, little Sakura's pretty face turned red at this moment. Even the body seems to have a conditioned reflex. Looking at Baye who was still in a daze in the last row. Little Sakura is not only curious. Unknowingly, he held the table and came to Baye's side. Looking at Baye's profile as sharp as a knife. The perfect profile was shown in front of little Sakura for the first time. Mr. Baye, you are really, so handsome. Little Sakura who has never really paid attention to Baye. Only now did I discover. I didn't even realize that Baye was so handsome. For a time, unknowingly, I became obsessed with it. Just holding his chin and watching quietly beside Baye. At this time, Baye's heart. Ding. Humiliate Uchiha Sasuke with his background again in public. Fusion plus 3%. After bullying Sasuke, this beautiful voice sounded in Baye's mind. Plus the 97% already obtained before. 3 plus 2. The degree of fusion finally reached 100%. That's right. Finally reached 100% progress. That's why Baye hurriedly came to his seat in the back row. Just because after reaching 100%, Baye's strength has been improved again. This promotion is even more terrifying. All the abilities acquired before have been strengthened again. Let all superpowers. It has completely reached the level of superhuman undermatch. And these are not the point yet. The point is, I am about to activate my second template. Superman, Man of Steel. Host, Sarutobi. Age, 16 years old. Ninjutsu, Basic Ninjutsu. Taijutsu, Konoha Fluid Technique. Illusion, Basic Illusion. Template 1, People of the Motherland. Fusion degree, 100%. Ability, Low configuration version of Superman. Template 2, Superman, Man of Steel. Fusion degree, 1%. Ability, Energy absorption, continuously strengthening itself by absorbing the light and radiation of stars. Next template, Superman, Silver Age. Looking at my own template. He finally got the body of steel that he had been longing for. And when loading the template, the power of improvement also requires Baye to get familiar with it. At this time, Baye could clearly feel how powerful his body was now. Even if you squeeze your fist hard, can make sonic boom sounds. One can imagine how terrifying Baye's power is now. This improvement is not just about strength. Rather, it is an overall improvement in all aspects. As for the Man of Steel template after it is unlocked, you can also improve your strength by basking in the sun in the future. Now Baye just feels better than ever before. It was as if the entire ninja world had been trampled under his feet. Call. After your body has slightly adapted to the increased strength. Baye then stood up. I just wanted to move my body. Then he saw little Sakura looking at him crazily. This look, Baye is so familiar. Because I was in the utility room not long ago. This is what little Sakura looks like. I saw little Sakura's inner world at this time. Sakura. Oh my god, he's so handsome. Come on, I can't take it anymore. He must be taken down. Sakura. Yeah, he's really handsome and manly. I suddenly feel that what you said makes sense. Seeing that Baye was no longer in a daze. Little Sakura quickly climbed up from the table. I wiped any saliva that might have flowed out with my hand. Then he smiled foolishly and said, Jun Baye, wake up. I see you fell asleep just now, I don't have the nerve to wake you up. Seeing little Sakura's abnormal state, Baye hurriedly took a few steps back. I'm afraid that if something goes wrong, little Sakura will pounce on me again. Baye is not worried about himself. But I am worried about little Sakura in front of me. Seeing that little Sakura is still trembling and unsteady. I'm afraid it won't happen again. Just die here. The most important reason is, the current Baye's control is not particularly perfect. This sudden surge of power. If you accidentally use too much force, the little Sakura in front of me was directly blown away. That's a big joke. Stop, stop, stop. You said it yourself before, it doesn't mean you like me. So, stay calm now. Hearing this, little Sakura suddenly looked aggrieved, and her mouth was so pouted that it could hang an oil bottle. Can't I regret it? I don't care if you regret it or not. If it doesn't work, it won't work. At least not now. Having said that, I looked at it and it was getting dark outside. Baye took little Sakura directly and left the school. And little Sakura kept thinking about what Baye just said. If it doesn't work now, then it will work later. After pondering for a while, little Sakura got the answer she wanted. I felt so happy all of a sudden. I even feel better physically. Soon, the two of them arrived at the door of little Sakura's house. After putting down little Sakura, Baye waved his hand and disappeared in a flash. Looking at Baye leaving, little Sakura stood there for a long time, unable to recover. After a long time, he murmured, he is really handsome. After all, first time people always leave a lasting impression. As for Sasuke, but it was already drifting away in little Sakura's mind. And Baye left. With his super speed, he returned home almost instantly. The banquet has been prepared at home for a long time. Just waiting for Baye to come back. Even third Hokage and Danzo came to the banquet early. Just to celebrate his good grandson. Watching Baye come back, everyone immediately started celebrating. Congratulations to Master Baye on your successful graduation. Bang bang bang. Fireworks exploded on the ground one after another. Brilliant fireworks bloomed in the sky instantly. Sarutobi, Hiruzen and Danzo looked at all this with smiles on their faces. As the banquet begins, the courtyard and the room were all lively. Baye even sat next to his grandpa and drank some wine with them. Hinata, Quan and the others were eating their meals quietly. However, there is also an example. That was Naruto, who was competing with Konohamaru on how fast he could eat. I often come to Baye's house. Naturally, Naruto also met Konohamaru. The two surprisingly got along well with each other, and Konohamaru even recognized Naruto as his eldest brother. I often compare Baye and Naruto. Something like brother Naruto is better. The entire Sarutobi clan is enjoying a happy and peaceful scene. The land of the Uchiha clan. In the patriarch's home. It's strange, why hasn't Sasuke come back yet? The school has been closed a long time ago. Where did this brat go crazy? I saw Fugaku, Makoto and the rest of the family waiting for Sasuke to come back so they could have a feast. Graduating with Sasuke, the family is ready to have a good gathering. As a result, I waited and waited, but Sasuke didn't come back. 0.5. See the situation. Itachi got up and got dressed, ready to go out and look for it. Along the way, Itachi went to Sasuke's favorite wooden fish rice ball shop. After asking the store owner that Sasuke had not been there before, Itachi went to the river where the two usually trained. As a result, there was still no sign of Sasuke. This made Itachi, who had always been calm, a little anxious. In my heart, I could faintly sense that something was wrong. Somewhere in the forest of death. Is everything you said true? Looking at the excited Mizuki in front of him, Sasuke couldn't help but have doubts in his heart. As for the unreliable action of stealing the sealed book that Mizuki just said, there are 100 rejections in my heart. Mizuki saw that Sasuke was not fooled yet. He was also fierce in his heart and directly released his ultimate move. Don't you want to defeat Sarutobi Baye? Do you want to be stepped on by Sarutobi Baye? As long as you steal the Book of Sealing, the ninjutsu inside will be extremely powerful forbidden technique. After you learn how to do it, are you afraid that you won't be able to defeat Sarutobi Baye? As Shuimu continued to bewitch, Sasuke was finally moved. Being humiliated and defeated again and again by Sarutobi Baye seems to have become an obsession in Sasuke's heart. At this moment, hatred instantly occupied the rational brain. As long as you can defeat Sarutobi Baye, it's just a sealed book. Okay, I agree. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.